they'd say, and no place that I'd rather be. Where else can you do 500,000 things all at $2:45? When they play their music, ooh, that modern music, they back it with a lot of style, but it's still that same old backbeat rhythm that really, really drives them wild. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe them. Now the old one may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll is still beating. LA, Hollywood, and the Sunset Strip is something everyone should see. Neon lights and the pretty, pretty girls all dressed so scantily. When they play their music, that hard rock music, they back it with a lot of flash, but it's still that same old backbeat rhythm that really, really kicks them in the. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe them. Now the old one may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll is still beating. Johnny! Ow! San Antonio and the Liberty Town, Boston and a Baton Rouge, Tulsa, Austin, Oklahoma City, Seattle, San Francisco too. Everywhere there's music, real life music, bands with a million styles, but it's still that same old rock and roll music that really, really drives them wild. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe them. Now the old one may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll is still beating. Yeah. In Cleveland, Detroit, heart of rock and roll. I'm tense and nervous and I can't relax. I can't sleep cause my bed's on fire. Don't touch psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run, 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 run away. Oh, psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run, 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 run away. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. You start a conversation, you can't even finish. You're talking a lot, but you're not saying anything. When I have nothing to say, my lips are sealed. Say something once, why say it again? Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run, 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 run away. Oh, oh, oh. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run, 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 run away. Oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Ce que j'ai fait ce soir-là, ce qu'elle a dit ce soir-là. Réalisons mon espoir, je me lance vers les bras, ok. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are vain and we are blind. I hate people when they're not polite. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run, 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 run away. Oh, oh, oh. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run, 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 run away. Oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah.
Rock City, get up, everybody's gonna move their feet. Get down, everybody's gonna leave their seat. Get in late, you gotta stand wait. Get up top, and I know I gotta hit the road. First I drink, then I smoke. Start the car, and I try to make the midnight show. Get up, everybody's gonna move their feet. Get down. speed, but I'm still moving much too slow. I feel so good, I'm so alive. Here's my song, play it on the radio. It goes, get up, everybody's gonna move their feet. Get down, everybody's gonna leave their seat. I gotta rock. There's a truck ahead, not staring at my eyes. Oh my God, no time to turn. I got to land, cause I know I'm gonna die. Why? Get up, everybody's gonna move their feet. Get down. Get up, everybody's gonna leave their feet. Get down.
You get hot, I wanna make love, you never stop. Come up and aim, pull me to the floor. What's been going on in here to you? Let's get it back, just blow me away. Let's get it back, all night and day. Let's get it back. She just loves to play. I'm scared about nothing more to say. Look at me so funny. Look back, now you act no so strange. You got too many things in your honey. Am I just no good in your page? Every time I touch you, you get hot. I wanna make love, you never stop. Come up and aim, pull me to the floor. What's been going on and hitting you? Let's get it back, just blow me away. Let's get it back, all night and day. Let's get it back. She just loves to play. I'm scared about nothing more to say. You say my love won't do you. That ain't love written on your face. But honey, I can see right through you. Yeah, who right who at the end of the race. What's right? What's wrong? What's left? What the hell is going on? I'm sitting back, just blow me away. I'm sitting back, all night and day. I'm sitting back, she just loves to play.
So what if that I'm cheating? Now everybody wanna sound right, yo. I'ma show you how. Come on, all in together now. Yeah, oh yeah. That's how we gotta be. So stop trying to be loud as me, cause you can do that. Think about the play and rush roulette with an automatic. I press my ass against the line. The last bullet's first online. Never step in a rep in a run. I got a weapon is wild. Peace to the brothers on bikers. Open up a trembling like a million. But by the guy, oh my God, I'm so high. Cause they say you're on, they say you look like a gremlin. But what does it take to make a kid, make a million children? Slam! 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 Let the boys be boys! Slam! Make boys be boys! Slam! Let the boys be boys! Slam! I'm the nitty nasty gritty smasher, never slow gassing. Sticky swift blast of the raspy bass fashion. That I provide the USG. Besides the ghetto vibe, make me flip like Jekyll and Hyde. Of course, I come across with the pure, for sure. Unadulterated, uncut, raw, disgusting, busted. You wanna touch it too high, you forgot. You're not ready, your head could get ruptured. Hit between the eyes, I plan, the pan, the lie. I supply the static, ruin the bad guys. The villain, crooks, lighters and the fighters. See the big black picture if you look inside her. My mind is graphic, expressive, graphic. Killer copycat action, it's all mastered. Directed it when y'all least expected it. And thought it was safe, I just hit you in the face. So slam! Let the boys be boys. Slam! Make boys be boys. Slam! Let the boys be boys. Slam! Make boys be boys. I'm a B-boy, standing in my B-boy stance. Hurry up and give me the microphone before I bust on my pants. The mad author of anguish, my language polluted. Onyx is heavyweight, still undisputed. It took the words right out my mouth to walk a mile in my shoes. I pay so many dues, I'm so used and abused, and I'm so confused. Now, excuse me, for example, I'm the inspiration of a whole generation. And unless you got 10 sticky fingers, it's the imitation, a figment of your imagination. But wait, it gets worse. I'm not watered down, so I'm dying of thirst. Coming through with the scale, foolproof plan. B-boys make some noise and just fail. Make noise, B-boys. Yeah. Let the boys be boys. Yeah. Make noise, B-boys. Yeah. Make noise, B-boys. Yeah.
Yep, 10 minutes out, guys. About 10 minutes out.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Trying to forget my feelings of hate. Imagine beating on your face, trying to forget my feelings of hate. Feelings, all my life I'm feeling. Wish I never met you. You'll make me sick again. Feelings, whoa, feelings, whoa, feelings. Ain't on my mind. Feelings, feelings like I never lied to you. Feelings like I wanna kill you. Live in my heart. Feelings, feelings like I wanna deck you. Feelings like I gotta get you out of my life. Feelings, whoa, feelings, whoa, feelings. Hate in my eyes. Feelings, whoa, feelings, whoa, feelings. You're not very nice. Go!
you like to gamble, I'll tell you I'm your man. You win some, lose some, it's all the same to me. The pleasure is to blame. Make no difference what you say. I don't say green. The only card I need is the ace of spades. The ace of spades. Playing for the high road, dancing with the devil, going with the flow. It's all a game to me. 7 or 11, snake eyes watching you. Double up a crit, double strike a split. The ace of spades, the ace of spades. You know I'm going to lose, and gambling's for fools, but that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever. And don't forget the joker. Pushing up the ante, I know you got to see me. Freedom and weep, the dead man's hands again. I see it in your eyes, take one look and die. The only thing you see, you know it's gonna be the ace of spades, the ace of spades. I'm easily bothered by persistence. One step from lashing out at you. You want to get under my skin and call yourself a friend. I've got more friends like you. What do I do? Is there no slacking anymore? What it takes, who I am, where I've been, belong. You can't be something you're not. Be yourself. By yourself, stay away from me. A lesson learned in life, known from the dawn of time. Breathe, walk. What did you say? Breathe, respect, walk. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Run your mouth when I'm not around. It's easy to achieve. You cry to weak friends that sympathize. Can you hear the violins play your song? Those same friends tell me you're everyone. Is there no standard anymore? What it takes, who I am, where I've been, belong. You can't be something you're not. Be yourself, by yourself, stay away from me. A lesson learned in life, known from the dawn of time. Breathe, respect, Walk. What did you say? Walk. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? No way, punk. Walk. What did you say? Walk. Are you talking to me? Walk. What did you say? Walk. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Walk on home, boy.
Now, how's this for starting this motherfucker on time? Let's light this fucking crap candle off and get this bitch started. Stand by. Pantera, Houston, Texas. All right, that's good enough. So, welcome to episode, what the fuck are we? Episode 5, Riff Raff Radio. My co-hosts are Popeye and Aloe. I will not be drinking until the very end of the show, just so I can stay lucid through this entire thing. You fuckers. And I don't want to be all standing there staring at the screen thinking to myself, I just said something. No, I didn't. I didn't say a fucking thing. But first, a new tradition. It's a new channel. It's a great channel. You got the 3 greatest fucking hosts in the world. And I wanted to surprise my co-hosts here with our new official traditional theme for Riff Raff Radio 2 WTF. Here we go. Take it away, player.
Well, I'll tell you what, things get better and better on YouTube. Riff Raff Radio, what the fuck? And what the fuck is an appropriate title, like what the fuck? Because they don't know what the fuck.
Riff Raff Radio! God damn, this is the best fucking show in the Philippine YouTube community, and you came to the right place. Number one hate show.
Let's examine some of the characters we have on there. And of course, folks, this is just all in fun, of course. We got this guy called Popeye. Well, Popeye in the spinach can?
Okay. You know, they're kind of equal in my book.
And we got Dave. Oh, Dave Phelps. Well, he takes this inhaler, you know.
Shut that fucking mic off. It must be the cheapest fucking mic I've ever heard in my life.
The philosopher, the psychologist, the political analyst. Riff Raff Radio, what the fuck? Maybe I'll meet you on the bridge sometime and I'll buy you a Slurpee. Riff Raff Radio, what the fuck? 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 Riff Raff Radio, what the fuck?
This is
welcome to the show, motherfuckers. Welcome to the show. Suck it, Trebek. Take it away.
This is fantastic, man. When did you do this, man? This is really good. As intro for the show every Saturday. I mean, that would be perfect. I mean, I fucking love it.
Thank you, Frank, for
And
helping.
we didn't even know. We the co-hosts, we the other co-hosts, we didn't even know that, because Dave told me a couple of days ago, and then even a few minutes before the show, hey, I have a surprise for you, and I didn't see this one coming. I really love it, really great. Yeah, thank you very much for that one. I think also the guys in the live chat love it,
Oh, yeah.
and we got like 50 plus people right now. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude.
Yeah, I have to say, this is the show of the century. If you're not here, you're nowhere, man. Saturday morning, Riff Raff Radio here, stateside, 10 p.m. Philippine time. You don't get any better than this. That intro was fucking outstanding. I couldn't ask for a better intro. Shit. What's it going to be today, gentlemen?
Okay,
Who are the dipshits?
Check this out. Before we even get started on that, I mean, we can get to that in just a second. But if you haven't gone there, look in the description. That's the website for Riff Raff Radio. Go there, scroll down to about halfway on the website, and vote in our poll. Vote in our poll, please. Who is the biggest scammer in the Philippine vlogosphere? There's 4 choices tonight. That's right. We made the choices just like on another guy's channel where there were only a limited number of choices for biggest weasel, and then he chose anyway all on his own. So go ahead and show some love to those kind of people.
And the site, by the way, I must say, looks absolutely great. And it's just a next step for this channel here, Riff Raff Radio, in the right direction. And it's like an expansion of the whole Riff Raff franchise. And it's absolutely great. Tell us a little bit something about the site itself. What does it stand for, and what we are planning with it? Give us a little bit of an overview. How did you come up with this idea, and so on and so forth?
Well, really quickly, I saw the need to distinguish ourselves from some of these other shows, because a lot of people just throw up a live show and think, well, I've done it all, or they took notes from the Quinton Ballou days and they do all the same shit that we do. They just copy our model. But what we've done here is added a little breadth and depth to the show by giving you different things like our own individual music, our intro. You've got the 3 very different personalities, but now you've got a website which I'm building. I'm still working on it, and right now what it has is little intro video from somebody that made it for us, and then we're going to have a rotating poll every week, and we'll encourage you to vote in the poll, and we're going to announce the winner of this poll at the end of the broadcast. And if you have ideas for the weekly polling, please let me know so that we can build the poll app up again and get everything ready to go for next week. What I envision happening here in the near future is we're going to start posting things like stories. We're going to have a Hall of Shame. We're going to have like an interest story. Occasionally, I can't promise that I can stay up and maintain and write these huge stories, but like, for example, you guys were just listening on my channel to expat prepper Larry. I mean, and you saw those cool cabinets and stuff he did. Everything was built by hand. We could do special interest shows like that about people. So we're just going to mix it up a little bit. But what it does, it distinguishes us from the other channel. It's not a GoFundMe site. It's not a fucking Patreon account or anything like that. It's just a place where you could go and read about what's going on in the community and what we're doing, and the shit we're talking, and the polls and everything else. So hopefully you get over there and vote tonight so that we can announce the winner at the end of the show. And I was quite happy with the polling app. It's a free app, and not to bore anybody, but we can adjust all these questions, answers. We can add as many bullets as we want. You can vote as many times as you want, in fact, I believe. And it actually has different statistics, different ways to view the statistics. So it's quite nice. So I hope everybody enjoys the show tonight. We're trying to really get things moving in a big direction to make the show bigger than it normally would be. So let's do it, man. Let's get into this shit.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving us an overview. And I want to say thanks also on behalf of the other co-hosts here, because I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea. And the part where I will be very active, I believe, will be the one that you just mentioned, the wall of shame, right? Or the shame section, because later down the line, we will also talk a little bit about what is going on in the background when it comes to guys like video freedom, for instance, because we got news about Aaron. And he was one of the guys, one of the most hated, really hated guys in the community. And the problem was, for a very long time, we never knew, how does this guy look like? Where does he really stay? Do we have background info on him, and so on and so forth? And he was very clever in camouflaging his identity. And he used that to attack other people in a very disgusting, very disturbing way. And I hope that Heminger is listening to this, because we got news for you. You might want to run back to your buddy Aaron and tell him that those days are over now. It's not only since the day when that Thailand blogger Twitchy put out that vlog about Aaron. It's also getting bigger and bigger, and I have read information about Aaron, and I'm telling you this, Heminger, your buddy is going down. And when it comes to doxing, I tell you this will not happen on this channel here, Riff Raff Radio. But as you know, I have also my two own channels and my own Facebook account. And expect that your buddy Aaron, he will be doxed big time on all my channels and also on my FB account. And if I'm in the mood to do so, I might even call him by myself and tell him a few things. So later, we will talk a little bit about Aaron Wilson. What you got, ladies and gentlemen?
All right. Let's kick this off with something interesting. I've been going through the comments section of our shows, and I have found two comments that are beyond idiotic. And I'm going to read these comments to you. And they're just, the brevity and the level of stupidity of these two comments is beyond comprehension for the normal human being. But when I read these comments to you, gentlemen, I'm going to give you the name, and I want you to tell me which one is the worst of the two. And after I do that, I'm going to read an insightful comment, right? I'm going to go right on the other side and read you what I thought was an insightful comment. But it's up to you, gentlemen, to make your mind up. Here is the first comment from Joel Alba. Okay? Can Riff Raff Radio put a success story on the air, sir? I listen to happily married couples, successful business ventures, or moving in a positive direction. That is the first comment. And I said to myself, my God, what fucking planet is this guy on? Does he not know what this show is about? And then I turned to the second comment. You all know, love, hate, loathe this fucking idiot, Ray Hammond. Stupid show. Stupid Popeye. Now, these are the two comments I've just read to you, okay? Let's start with Dave. Dave, what do you think? Which one of these is the worst when it comes to the level of stupidity and idiocy?
I don't know that either of them were bad comments, but it shows a lack of insight when you come on the show and you're listening and you go, it'd be great as a positive couple, a great success story, like, I don't know, Bud Brown and the Molly Mobile, that would be just great. Yeah. And you see him drinking coffee with his wife, and there's nothing against Bud Brown. I'm not going after Bud Brown. That'd be ridiculous. But that's the kind of nonsense a comment like that is. The other comment was that's Ray to a T. Stupid YouTube, stupid couch. I stubbed my fucking toe. Stupid toe. I mean, what do you expect? Seriously.
Really? I mean, when I saw those two comments up there, Dave, I said to myself, really? I mean, Aloe, my favorite fucking lunatic. Talk to me, buddy. What do you think of this shit?
Well, you just read us two comments, and I don't really know what I should think about it, because I think it's pretty clear what this channel here stands for, and what we do on this channel, because we are actually doing, I think this is already the 6th episode of Riff Raff Radio. We did the two episodes on Dave Ponderings, and then I think this one here is the 4th on the channel itself. But talking about comments, I wanna talk about two comments. One was the comment by Chixie, where she said, and I have discussed this earlier on another live stream, but I think I want to bring it up again because I think it's very important. She said that we, the people on this panel, and also others, are just jealous of certain people, in this case Ren. We envy him because we are all just bitter because we work so hard to pay our bills and debts, and he actually made it in the Philippines. And I want to ask you guys in a minute, what does it really mean when she said he made it in the Philippines? Because I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And then there's another comment. This happened yesterday on another show, and that guy, an African American guy, said that Roberto Dan, the guy who was one of our co-hosts earlier on this channel here, Roberto Dan is just another third world country immigrant in the United States, and that's a very interesting comment there. I could tell you this. Roberto Dan is a Phil-Am, and the same person who made that comment 2 or 3 weeks ago attacked me for being racist, for being using foul language, and being a bigot, and so on and so forth. And here he is making a comment like this. Now, I want to tell you something about this, because maybe the guy doesn't have a mirror at home and doesn't know what skin color he has. But let me tell you this. Filipino Americans, when you go and look it up, the list of ethnic groups in the United States by household income, you'll see that the Filipino Americans, among all the groups, they have like nearly 100 ethnic groups listed. The Filipino Americans rank 4th with a household income of 82,000 US dollars.
Wow.
And Asians, among all groups by race, are number 1 with 80,720 US dollars per year. And then you get the second group, whites, with 61,000 US dollars. Guys like him, the guy who made this comment, his people are at the bottom of the list, black or African American, with 38,000 US dollars. Now, let me tell you a few things about this. Filipino Americans are the type of immigrants the United States wants. They are very hardworking. They are achievers. They are people who contribute to the United States, and they take that opportunity given by the United States. They take it and they make something out of it. They do not whine and bitch about racism. They do not whine and bitch about the white American people holding them down. They do not whine and bitch about all these things. And still, these hardworking people with one of the highest incomes, household incomes in the United States, they are the ones who made it. On the other side, we get this guy, his name's Alan Martin, who calls Roberto, who has the nerves to call Roberto a third world immigrant. What does that mean? Does that mean he is looking down on the Philippines? Does it mean he looks down on people who are immigrants? Because, listen, your people, my friend, you know where they are good at? When you pull up the crime statistics, when you look at the prison population of the United States, when you look at the statistics of high school dropouts, and who are the underachievers in all these college tests and entrance tests and so on and so forth. If there weren't affirmative action in the United States, these people won't get anywhere. And again, if you want to know what kind of people these are, just take a closer look at what is going on in US prisons. And if you listen to these other shows, you will always hear this accusation, okay, America is racist, all these other live streamers are racist, everybody is a racist, there's a racist behind every tree, there's a racist under every bed, and maybe even in your fridge. I don't know what they are talking about. All I'm saying is, if I were you, I wouldn't really be too proud of who you are, because your people, the black community, the African community, they have been in the US for many generations. The Filipino Americans, on the other hand, big majority of them are a relatively new immigrant group. Yes, there were early settlers, Filipino Americans who settled in Hawaii and California around the last century, 1900s, as farm workers and so on and so forth. But you know, they made it in the US. And that's something that you should think about when you make comments like this and looking, you as a black American, looking down on immigrants and trying to attack our friend Roberto Dan. These are the statistics. And again, Filipino Americans, achievers, law abiding citizens who contribute to the United States. On the other hand, African Americans, they appear high on crime statistics, high school dropouts, broken families, drug abuse, and drug related crime. And a couple of months ago, I had no idea actually what was going on in the United States, but now I know that all these stories about Rodney King and about police crime, police violence against these people, that's just fabricated. All this whole Black Lives Matter hype over in Europe, people believe that. They think that the black guys in the US are really victims. Now I know what kind of people they are. And if you want to know, you just listen to Black American Expats channel and the people who go on that channel from that particular group in the United States. It's disgusting. It is disturbing. And I just say, as a citizen of the Philippines, I do not want people like them in the Philippines, in my country, and I do not want them in Europe, also in Switzerland. And I am glad that in Switzerland, the police does not need to be afraid when they approach them in the streets and check their ID and then go after them, and also not the politicians, because the public there supports the police. It seems to me that you guys have a problem in the United States because these people have a certain special status, and I don't want that in my country, in Switzerland, and in the Philippines. That's the message of the day. I'm telling you, you are not welcome. You are not welcome. And we will also not forget what you are talking about on your live streams about the people in the Philippines. And we will also not forget that you are a guy who consumed and smoked marijuana in the Philippines. And I do not care if it is okay in Europe or in the United States. I do not care if this rapper or that singer or that celebrity is smoking marijuana and marijuana is good and blah, blah, blah. If that's your opinion, I do not care. What I care about is the law of the Philippines, and you have broken it by using drugs in the Philippines. That's all that matters. There is no exceptions. Forget about your special status. Forget about all this racism shit. You are a guy who is breaking the law of the land, and this means you are not welcome. I know your kind of people. I know that you are, it's in your nature to be criminals. It is in your nature to be the way you are. Sexist, aggressive, always playing the victim card, always portraying yourself as the victim of racism. And I say no to that. I say no to that, and I will use this channel to tell you that you are not welcome. That's the statement that I want to put out there. Thank you for listening.
Aloe, that was friggin' awesome. And especially the beginning of that statement. Because when you talked about Chixie's comments, that leads to my third and final comment by a guy named Trusty Shellback. That word Trusty Shellback means a lot to me, being a sailor for 20 years. Okay? And I have to take this with a lot of due consideration here. And when you listen to this, I think a lot of your questions are going to be answered about the e-beggar princess and the downtrodden prince of Philippines. He says here, hopefully Riff Raff Radio will pose questions about the boat and that the title of the show. You are correct that money would be better served going to the children's hospital than a beer fund and sit on your ass fund all day. Who exactly is administratively booking the boat and handling the credit card transaction? Who in the hell would insure him and allow tourists aboard a boat at sea per se? It's 100% total, complete, made up BS story. Ren was a fireman is another doozy. He couldn't pass a background check to become an entry-level dog catcher. That says it all. There's a lot of good questions in there. All right, a lot of good fucking questions in there about this idiot and his boat. Okay, because I'm not holding back anymore. I'm tired of this piece of shit.
And you shouldn't hold back. You shouldn't hold back.
His broad has got super chat, collected chocolates, t-shirts, all kinds of bullshit, giggling her ass off. That's why I call her the Princess E-Beggar. All right? Now on, that's how I will address her. That's the Princess E-Beggar. You go to my channel and check out the movie trailer when you get a chance. You'll have a good laugh. It only took me about 30 minutes to put it together. You know, it's all it takes to smack down an e-beggar. And this guy, you know, he's putting comments out there that, you know, I'm a drunk, I'm this, I'm that. You know, this is the only comeback they have. He's a friggin' buffoon. He's a joke. You know, this guy, and he uses all these proxies. Where is he now? He was over on Dave's Ponderings earlier. Where is he now? Why is he not here in the live chat?
Oh, he's listening.
You know, I challenge this idiot to get the fuck up here and have a little chit chat with us. Okay? And I challenge him to open his cam, show me his boat registration, show me whose name it is, because there's rumors out there about this boat. Okay? And I repeat, rumor. I am not saying this is a fact. And the rumor is that he just rents this boat. He doesn't own it. Chixie doesn't own it. They just rent it. And they go on it with some people and have a good time. And he says, yeah, look at my boat. Dude, you better step up to the plate. Because in your comment, you said, we got to shut these fucking clowns down. So I gather you're talking about me. You're talking about Aloe. You're talking about Dave. And we're not clowns. We're dead serious here. Okay? And we know you're an e-beggar. We know you're a fool. We know you were never a goddamn fucking fireman. You wouldn't make a pimple on a fireman's ass. Okay? And if you want to come up here and talk about how you were a fireman, I'll tell you what. Every time I go on a deployment on a ship, I have to go through firefighting school. Okay? And we go through the same rigorous test and sit down and get all the same information, take exams, and know how to fight a fire, every kind of fire. All right. So come on up here and have a chat with me, and I will ask you some questions about being a firefighter. Okay. Because I have more than the basic knowledge of being a firefighter. All in my brain housing group, I have the terminology. I understand it. I know what to do. Okay, this is what every sailor in the United States Navy is tasked with. When you deploy on a ship, you have to know how to be a firefighter, whether you like it or not. Because, you know, when you're at sea, there's no calling a fire truck at sea, dipshit. All right? And shit starts to burn, guess who's going to put it out? The sailors on that ship. All of them. 100% of them. Even right up to the commanding officer of the ship. He goes to firefighting school also. Okay? So I highly doubt your narrow little fucking ass was ever a firefighter. And I highly doubt you own this boat now. Because the comments are just coming quicker and quicker and quicker. And this shit is not going to go away, Ren Zero. So I strongly suggest you get your ass up here and you prove 100% what you got. You say you're going to run a clean channel. You still got your super chat. You still got your Patreon. Okay, you can have a Patreon. No friggin' problem. But it's kind of funny to me. You own a boat now, so what do you need a Patreon? What do you need a PayPal for? What do you need a super chat for? You don't need to collect any donations now. You got all your computers. You got your boat. This is what you say. You're gonna run a clean channel. I don't see anything clean. All I see is sewerage. That's all I see. Bullshit. Right? And as for the other half of your statement, you fucking lunatic, when you talk about this drug user, all right, you are 100%. He is the biggest race baiter, drug user. He is the racist, all right? And let me tell you something else. He is now race baiting the Big Kevin show, right? And I think Dave can expand on that a lot better than I can. You want to have a crack at it, Dave?
No, not really. You caught me by surprise with this one. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what he said on his show last night. He called out Bob Cooper, you know, big heavy set guy, messed up hair, no teeth. Right? He called out Bob Cooper. Now that's Big Kevin's friend. And Bob Cooper always comes on Big Kevin's show. He called Bob Cooper a racist pig, prejudiced, threw every kind of shit at him in the book, and then turned around and said, "What does that say about you, Big Kevin? You have him on your show." So I guess BAE is trying to say who could come on whose show or not by race baiting. It's a very old trick. Jesse Jackson used to pull it. Reverend Al Sharpton pulls it, you know, and this just leads right down the, you know, that silly little friggin' path that my favorite lunatic was talking about. You know, all this race baiting and, oh, woe is me and I'm hurt. And you look at this guy's channel, he's got Patreon accounts, he's got PayPal accounts, he's got a Facebook with a GoFundMe. And I haven't seen anything out of him except a green screen, with his delusions of sitting in the Oval Office because Obama sat in the Oval Office. So now it's okay for him to pretend to sit in the Oval Office. And this guy, when he talks, you really have to bend your ear to figure out what he's saying because he talks in circles and all kinds of bullshit. And his language of, I'm coming at you 100%. Oh, why don't you just speak English? All right, so we can all comprehend what you're saying. Because maybe it's getting lost in translation. Ebonics went out in the 80s, as far as I remember.
Let me tell you a few things about that, because that's a very interesting statement that you just made, Popeye. I tell you this, I have spoken about this earlier on this show and on other shows. BAE uses racism, or the accusation of racism, to kill the debate and to silence people, to bully them into silence when you call him out for his bullshit. And now, this also caught me by surprise, by the way, because I didn't know that he was attacking Bob Cooper. And you have mentioned to me earlier that he is also starting to make comments against Big Kev because Big Kev, let Bob Cooper on his show. But that's not really surprising that BAE is attacking all these people now, because if you listened to parts of his last vlog, he was attacking Chris, and he was attacking also Steve Montelli. As you know,
Yes.
Steve Montelli was giving us a shout out. He said that he likes the show. He doesn't necessarily agree with everything that we talk about, that we say on these live streams, but he gave us a shout out and he said, I am entertained. I like Riff Raff Radio, just like many people out there who have an opinion about us. And now BAE took that and said, listen, these are the guys. We don't want anything to do with them because they gave Riff Raff Radio a shout out, and he thinks that they are in some ways associated with Riff Raff Radio. This is what really bothers BAE. After our clash over on Big Kev, my clash with him, he thought that he could shame me. He thought that the community would rally behind him and go after me because he thought that I called him this or that I am a racist, and so on and so forth. And now he realizes it's not happening. It actually was the opposite. People turned against him. People turned into something totally different. They started to attack him and call him out for his BS. And that's exactly what we wanted. That's exactly according to the game plan that I have put out. That's exactly the goal that I had when I went on Big Kev's show and provoked him. And that was the trap. He went right in there. And since then, he has nothing else to do than talking about our panel, talking about our show, and he did it again. He said that the reason why we have views is because of his subscribers. Couple of weeks earlier says nobody would listen to us. We are absolutely just a bunch of losers, and after 2 months we would already be gone. It always fails when Aloe is on board, when the other guys are on board. It never really succeeds. This is the 6th show on episode 4 on this channel, and the 2 shows we had on Dave Ponderings. And I tell you what, we are still around, and we will continue to do what we do because we have a good time doing so. If you listen to the other channels, you got guys there with no teeth who define themselves as some sort of the worst MGTOW or something like that. I mean, that's the latest term that I always hear. You know, that's just a new version of I'm a fucking loser. I live in a fucking trailer park. I yell at people. You know. I know. I also yell on these live streams, but the difference is this guy yells at people because he is afraid of the answers that they might give. John Doe, a very controversial guy in this community, has also been attacked and bullied because he uploaded the video, a Riff Raff Radio promo, and some people said, "Hey, John Doe is pushing or promoting Riff Raff Radio, which nowadays seems to be the biggest sin in this community. If you associate yourself with Riff Raff Radio, you are a target. Then you are probably a racist and a bad person of a bad character. That's how they portray it. These days, and it's absolutely laughable. Let me tell you a few things about Ren Zero. Ren Zero has no pride. What kind of a man would let his girlfriend do the things that she is doing, flirting with these guys sending her dick pics, and she needs to handle all this? I was told that they took in around 30 to 33,000 pesos last month.
Holy shit.
So this is for them. This is a big amount of money. This is a big amount of money where they can live on, because that's a good budget for people like them. Because basically they're living in a warehouse. Ren didn't make it in the Philippines, ladies and gentlemen. He is just using Chixie, and Chixie is somehow, and that's what a lot of people believe, Chixie is also using him in some ways. Let me talk a little bit about the boat. The thing with the boat is, I do not know who owns the boat, but I was told a couple of weeks ago that they said Ren is the owner. How is that possible? Since when can foreigner own a business like a boat business? Does he have proper documentation? He said that he has guests booking the boat. I do not know. Maybe that's true. But if it is true, my questions are, do you have a business license? Do you pay taxes for your business in the Philippines? And I really doubt it. And my last comment concerning BAE. After this show, I will, and I did it before also on FB, on my FB account, I will post the link to the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. When you click on it, it gets you the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency's main page, and you will see different numbers. And these numbers are for people who would like to report people who are involved in the drug business, who smoke marijuana, who smoke shabu, who are trading with drugs, or are consuming drugs in the Philippines. I would like to encourage you to take a closer look at that. And for the people who are in the Philippines, you might want to take the video of BAE where he talks about his consumption of marijuana, and you might want to forward it to them. They might want to take a closer look. And if you need the address where BAE lives, I can give you that. And if you have any other information on all these other vloggers out there, the e-beggars, the scammers, the criminals, please don't hesitate to contact any of the members of this panel, Riff Raff Radio, and we might just review it, and we might make it a topic on one of our shows. So you're always welcome to contact us and give us informations about all these scammers out there. Back to you guys.
All right, this guy BAE. Let me break it down what he's doing. He is trying to divide everybody in this community racially, black, white. It's basically identity politics, but he's using it to build his show. And on this show here, I'm going to tell you all, I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white, Chinese. I don't give a shit what color your skin is. You come in this chat, you're all equally a piece of shit in my eyes until you prove yourself otherwise. And it has nothing to do with your skin color, your race, your creed, your religion, any of that shit. I'm not here to powder your fucking bottom. I'm not here to fucking sprinkle snowflakes on you and give you a safe space. I'm fucking here to call it as it is, okay? And I don't give two shits who you are, who you know, who you blow. It's just the way it is. I don't give a flying fuck about BAE, okay? Number one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I would like to read a few comments right now from the live chat, and this one here is from Michael V. Michael V says, I'm with Alan. I don't see what's wrong with someone creating content and asking for donations to keep it running. That is why, or that is the way the world works. And late down here, there's another comment. The boat needs to be registered with the LTFRB. If you are taking tourists on tours, if the LTFRB finds out you're taking tours without being registered with them, they will shut you down. This comment is from the Hatter, and that's a very good comment. I absolutely agree to that. And down below, there is another comment, and this one here is from Philly in the Philippines, and that's the answer to, I would look at this as the answer to Michael V's comment earlier. I think there is nothing wrong with a Patreon account to help with your channel expenses. The problem is when people use it to support their life while living here in the Philippines. And that's exactly what I am talking about. Riff Raff Radio does not criticize that certain vloggers have Patreon accounts, PayPal accounts, and so on and so forth. Riff Raff Radio has absolutely no problem with people who are contributing in any form or shape to these channels. When somebody says, this vlogger has a great channel, I want to send him $20. I want to send him $50. I want to send him a cam. I want to send him this or that. Absolutely not a problem. Because that's what happens. That's okay. And let me be very clear about this, because we have been attacked and criticized because we call other people e-beggars. But just because they have a Patreon account, just because they have some sort of account that you can't contribute to, that is not clear. That is absolutely not what we are doing here. Let me be very clear about this, because it's very, very simple. It is very, very simple. This is about people who are beggars and use electronic gadgets through the social media accounts to beg for their to cover their living expenses. And that's the problem. These are people who actually pimp out their girlfriend, who have no pride whatsoever, who don't have any sense of honor, and basically just begging their just begging. And that's the problem. To finance themselves, to turn it into a source of income through begging. And that's the problem. And we have so many of these guys over there. They claim that they are big shots. They claim that they are successful. But some of them left their children behind. Some of them have criminal records. Some of them no teeth, like hobos, total lowlifes, sexist, racist BS coming from them. And they have the nerves to call us guys who are just jealous, who envy them, just because we call them out for their bullshit. And that is what this is all about. And when you do so, all of a sudden you are just jealous. All of a sudden you are just a racist. All of a sudden you are a loser because you are so bitter because you can't live in the Philippines. And if you live in the Philippines, you are just not happy with your life. And I have heard it so many times. I have heard it so many times. And it's just not true, because the facts speak for themselves. That's what this is all about. We have no problems with people who get donations and get support from their subscribers. But we have a problem with people who are beggars, e-beggars. And there is a thin line, I understand, between the genuine, authentic people and the scammers. And sometimes it's really hard to see which is which, because these scammers, these criminals, these lowlifes, they know exactly what they need to do and how to talk on these blogs, so it's not obvious for the wider audience to realize what kind of personalities these are. And I believe many of them are disability fraudsters. Many of them are just bankrupt. Many of them are just running from the law, from the authorities back in their home countries. All kinds of lowlifes. And now that we are criticizing them, there is something going on in the community, because they start to come together and form these other channels where all the losers come together. And I'm talking about people who have no financial means in life, misrepresent themselves in the Philippines, have one girlfriend after another who takes them in because they just don't have enough money to be a responsible person. They have kids in the Philippines. They can't even afford to fix their fucking teeth. Low life, criminals, scammers, e-beggars. And I go as far and call these women who do that. They are fucking squatter whores and low life bitches. That's what they are. Fucking squatter whores. That's what they are. Back to you.
You know, you're talking about PayPal accounts, squatter whores, all these Patreon super chats. And you say to me, Aloe, that, it's okay for running your channel. But my question is, what does it take to run a channel? I mean, I open up my laptop that I paid for. I have internet access that I pay for monthly. Right? Like Chixie said, I'm jealous because I have to pay my bills. I have to work. I mean, I always thought that was pretty good concept. You pay your bills, you work, you pay your bills, you make your way in life. Oh, this show and my Popeye show, and I do believe Dave's Ponderings, and I do believe Aloe the Winter radio blogs doesn't have any of that to run their channel. What does it take to run a channel? Okay. So I have to turn and I have to look at a different kind of broadcaster and blogger, Big Kevin. He's got a green screen now. It's pretty cute, Yeah, it's cute. But does it add to the show? All right. Fancy lights, so he looks sweet and pretty in the camera. But does it add to the show? These are the questions. Do you really need to take any donations to run a channel? All right. I'm not saying you shouldn't or you should, but these are questions you're going to have to make up on your own. You're gonna have to decide on your own, because if you don't, you might go down that primrose lane and end up taking in donations, plain and simple, just to live. All right, and people are doing it, and this is what we're talking about. We're talking about these people who've never worked a day in his life. I mean, come on, this guy runs zero. What did he ever do? He worked in a fucking grocery store. I mean, that's something you do when you're 16 years old and you want to buy your fucking school clothes, okay?
When you come out of fucking jail, that's where you go to. That's the type of job you do. And he actually has been in jail. He has been in jail.
If you're a fucking felon, that's the kind of job you gotta get.
That's the kind of job you do.
Hold on. I gotta inject something right here. I gotta interject something right here, and that's this. Before we get off the whole BAE thing, the guy was running his mouth about Montelli because he gave us a shout out. That's what he was mad about.
He basically was saying, if you give the racist a shout out, you are a racist by yourself. I don't see any fucking racist, not on this panel, on any other panel. Let me give you a short. Let me tell you a short story here. In Switzerland, there is a guy. He is very popular. His name is Roger Köppel. Roger Köppel, very famous in Europe, is one of the most prominent leaders of the Swiss Popular Party. Far right, very proud Swiss. He says African refugees in Europe and in Switzerland need to go back to Africa, and they need to stop sending money, economic development assistance to Africa, and let basically let Africa die, because they need to stop feeling guilty about colonialism and so on and so forth. And many people say Roger Koppel is, and he is absolutely brilliant mind. If you guys would understand what he is talking about, absolutely brilliant mind. He actually is a publicist, and he invited just a few weeks ago Steve Bannon to hold a symposium in Zurich, Switzerland. And many people said Roger Koppel is a racist. I tell you what, Roger Koppel is a guy. He is married to a refugee, a Swiss citizen now, and this refugee went to Switzerland's top business school, which is the University of St. Gallen. She had a wonderful career. They have 2 sons and 1 daughter. And I tell you what, do you know where his wife is from? There are many of them in Switzerland, very successful. His wife is Vietnamese. His 2 sons and his daughter are half Asian, half white, proud Swiss. How does that sound? This is a guy who is considered as the new leader of the opposition. He says no to the European Union. He says yes to an independent Swiss foreign policy, and he says no to African refugees flooding Switzerland, going to Switzerland, and profiting from the social welfare system in Switzerland. Are these people racists? I don't think so. Because for all these people, when you call them out, it's always racism. It's always the black man is the victim, and so on and so forth. Why is he married then to a Vietnamese? Why is this Vietnamese very successful in Switzerland? And she was working for one of the
what is a victim? A victim. What do you mean victim?
Excuse me?
What do you mean when you say the black man is a victim?
They always say the black man is a victim. They always say everybody is attacking me because I am black, because people don't like me because of the color of my skin. If that were true, how come that people like Roger Koppel, just the guy that I just mentioned, and you can look that up, he is a guy, when you listen to him, he uses a very harsh language, straight to the point, and he says, let us not give away money anymore. Stop development assistance. Stop it, because it has not done Africa any good. We need to have the courage to say, stop this. Africa needs to learn its lesson. Send these refugees back. They are not they are not victims of state persecution in their home countries. We need to stop this. And then he was attacked as being a racist. He's not a racist. As I told you, his wife, Swiss Vietnamese, his kids, mixed ethnic background, a great guy. And this just means that you can call these people out without being blinded by a racist ideology. And it happens all the time. And it happens also in the Czech Republic. The far right leader of the Czech Republic is half Japanese and half European. And there are many people like that. This is not racism. And these guys over there on BAE's channel, they cry foul all the time. And then you read comments about Filipino Americans.
What the fuck is going on with Europe? I heard 6 out of those 7 European leaders, they don't even have children. They're childless. 6 out of the 7 European leaders in the European Union, or whatever the hell you call it, don't even have children. Merkel, she doesn't have children. They're childless.
Yeah, demographic change in Europe is very, very, how should I say, it's very obvious that people don't really have enough children. That's why they can't keep their population the same size. Population actually is shrinking. On the other hand, there are millions of people just getting on a boat, or they just walk over the border, North Africa, Syria, and Sub-Sahara Africa. And it's not as bad as in other European countries and in the European Union, in Switzerland, but there is a problem with African refugees, mostly from Eritrea. And Roger Koppel has pointed out that these Eritreans, they come to Switzerland and claim, hey, I can't go back to Eritrea because they might kill me because I was a political activist. Thing is, once they get accepted as refugees and they get their permit to stay in Switzerland, after a month or two, they travel back to Eritrea and they marry their sweetheart back in Eritrea. And then they are on a vacation there. And Roger Koppel pointed out, how come that now they're not afraid, they don't fear for their lives anymore. So they take Swiss taxpayers' money and they go back to Africa, where they said, oh, if I go back to Africa, back to Eritrea, they might kill me, they might throw me into prison. And it's just all lies. And people start to see that. And I am just glad that there are still places in this world where you are allowed to talk about that without the US media coming after you and calling you a racist because of all this political correctness. And guys like BAE, they use that as a weapon to bully you into silence. But please, let's get back to Dave, because you were still talking about the BAE and the Montelli issue.
I'll tell you something about this whole Montelli thing that pisses me off, and it's the same thing that happened with Roberto Dunn when he was talking that one time, and it's that if you're any other shade than white, you have to be part of this fucking hive thing, where you have to follow mind-numbingly whatever one leader says, and every minority has to follow that. Here's the problem with that. Not everybody thinks the fucking same way. Montelli didn't do anything. Montelli endorsed me and Aloe. He likes the chemistry there, and he appreciates that. And he texts me on Facebook all the time and says, I'm glad you guys are doing stuff together again. I like both of you separately, but I like you both together even better. I like Montelli. I like Steve. He always sends a clear message when he's talking, and he seems like a good dude. I don't have a problem with him. But what I do have a problem with is when some random little sawed-off runt supply guy is running his mouth for 6 hours a day and saying he's busy all day, but he has like 2 or 3 live shows for 6 hours a stint. And then he goes and attacks Big Kevin for what reason? Because he had on a guy that he disagreed with? What the fuck is that? You think that you're fighting all the expats here in the Philippines? That's the most that might even be dumber than the chair. It just might be dumber than the chair. Which, by the way, we're gonna listen to his little. He just put out a video, I guess, about us. So let's listen to this real quick. Indulge me for a second. Stand by. I don't hear him saying anything. Is he going to start talking at some point? Okay, I see a picture that says Frankie, and it's like a round head.
I sit here in my dark room, and I watch all Frankie's videos.
You really don't.
Then I copy and paste his photographic images from his YouTube videos.
Uh-huh.
I make them into an 8x10 size. And I take my scissors.
Don't cut yourself.
And I cut out just the proper size to make a mask. I want to be close to Frankie. And I put the cutout face to my face.
Holy shit.
He sounds like that fucking guy in Silence of the Lambs.
That's probably what he's going for. So low tech. Did he just shit on that, or is that ketchup?
My doctor says that I'm a sociopath. Me and my friends, we see the same doctor.
Uh-huh.
My doctor said, Mr. Asado, you have a problem. I said, I don't have any problems. And as he turned to Dave Phelps and said, you have an anger problem, Mr. Phelps. And Mr. Phelps said, I don't have an anger problem. And my good friend, Aloe.
Oh, there you are.
Well, the good doctor was afraid of him.
There's a microphone. You hear your tongue.
We just make harmless YouTube videos, Doctor.
Right.
Doctor, I just make harmless YouTube videos.
Hello, you better get the KY jelly out.
YouTube community. Don't you understand, Doctor?
He's stabbing this picture with his scissors.
We just love Frankie. We are envious of Frankie.
Oh, yeah.
We are envious of Frankie.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And he just poured more ketchup on it.
We are not sociopaths. I don't care what the doctor said about me. Although I sit in the dark with my pair of scissors and I cut out faces and I put it onto my own face and I become Frankie. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
We do it all for YouTube. We do it all for Frankie.
Yeah, it's all blurry.
We love you, Frankie.
We love you, Frankie. We love you. I just want to say one thing about this before we get started on this video. If that was actually poop coming out of your butt and it's that bloody, you might want to go get seen. Just a thought. I don't know.
It is poop. It is poop, but it's coming out of his mouth or off of Gildo's asshole.
All the anger issues this a-hole says that I have. Who's the one making videos still? 34 hate videos to 4 answers for me, and you're obsessed. You're obsessed. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Please stop it! I'm gonna pee.
What an anger issue, man! Holy crap! He actually made a video with a piece of notebook paper with a poorly drawn face with Flank E written on it, and then poured ketchup all over it and stabbed it violently with a pair of scissors. Do you really think it, and played like crappy music in the background on like an AM radio or something? It was so low tech it wasn't even funny. Is that what you've been building up to all week? Because if it is, I'm disappointed. I've kept my mouth shut all week. Watching his video fail. He had to shut down the likes and dislikes because he wasn't getting it right. The troll lied to him, and he took it at face value. He's like, "Oh, get that motherfucker!" And I'm like, "What am I doing wrong? I haven't done anything." And he's just all week just, I need information on Dave. I need information on Dave. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing to this guy? And I was actually kind of mad for a minute. And in the end, it's just another epic fail. It's just another weak attempt. I'm not the one who's doing anything to you, fool. Let it go, or I'll start singing "Let It Go, Let It Go" again.
Hey,
retarded. He needs to go to a sanitarium. My God.
He needs to fucking shoot himself in the face. That's what he needs to do. But I like my impersonation there, because he said the word video exactly the way how I would say it. Video. I am making videos. That's good. I mean, he's getting there. He impersonated me a couple of days earlier and tried to imitate my accent. I think it wasn't that good, but he's getting better. Frank, I know you're listening to this together with your boyfriend Gildo. I would say I'll give you 3 out of 4 out of 10. You can still improve. What do you think about this performance here? If you had to rate it 1 to 10, I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 3.
I give it a 2.0.
There you go.
2.0.
Mhm.
You
How
know
about
what?
you, Larry?
Let's hear it for F Wank for doing a good job on that video, man. That's thinking outside the box right there. Pouring ketchup on something, playing Silence of the Lambs in the background.
You know, I gotta ask Expat Prepper a quick question, dude. You know,
Go ahead,
talking,
man. Shoot, I'm here.
You're
Ask
talking
me.
about these Europeans leaders who don't have children and shit, and you mentioned Angela Merkel, and all I can say to is that, come on, man, would you lay down with that? I mean,
Yeah,
have
that's
you
also
seen her? Have
Yeah.
you seen her? Would you lay down with that? Come on.
Have you actually seen her
I would have
husband?
to have a lot of San Miguel in me.
Holy
I would bang a snake if I could hold his mouth open.
I would actually pay a guy $1 million just to videotape him laying down with her, man. That would be the video of the century, okay? I mean, Jesus H. Christ. I mean, whoo. I mean, there's your answer right there, bro. I mean, that's why you got no children. Come on. You know, how about you, Alan? Would you lay down with her?
Hell no.
No, not really. But you know, when the husband actually is a very weird guy. I mean, he's very seldom that he shows up in these meetings. And if you have seen him, he is this old skinny guy. You know, it's like is kind of like, he looks a little bit like a pedo or something like that. That's the way how he looks, is how you would imagine how some sick pedo would look like. It is
Is
really
he
weird.
beaten down and sheepish looking like Ren Zero when he sits in the background while Chixie is begging for chocolate? Can you equate it to
that? Hey, can I make a comment about Ren Zero? I watched this fucking channel, and then I subscribed to Trixie's channel. And I started, watching it like any other channel. But I got sick of her fucking with her hair, flipping her hair and fucking begging. I like, what the fuck kind of porno shit is this, man?
Did you get a hard on? Did you get a hard on, Larry?
Yes, I did. I said, I didn't come here to look at her fucking play with her hair.
Oh, the brutal honesty.
You came there to what? To look at her asshole, right?
No. I got a wife, okay? But she's fucking for the fucking camera. You ever notice she fucking fucks with her hair, constantly looking in the mirror, like she's looking in the fucking mirror? I was serious. I wanted to rent, I wanted to support Ren. My family, they wanted to go on an outing. And I sent them a fucking message on YouTube. They never got back with me, so fuck them. We fucking rented a boat from somebody else.
And you should.
Would you say the E-Beggar princess was in love with herself? Is that what you're trying to say here? When she's in the
I
camera?
just tired of her fucking with her hair and.
And these days she thinks she's really very, very pretty, because you get all these creeps out there, these lonely, low-life fucks who tell her you are so pretty, and I'll send you this, and I'll send you that, and you don't know what's going on in the background, because again, people are sending her dick pics, making her all kinds of offers, and so on and so forth. And if you are a real man, you wouldn't let that happen to your girlfriend. What happened with honor? What happened with pride? What happened with this old school thinking of mine that men sometimes still are providers? And I know
I want to know about Ren Zero. He supposedly kicked the fuck out of 3 Filipinos to try to steal his laptop.
Oh, that's a good story.
Kicked 3 Filipinos' asses. I don't believe that for a minute.
Don't forget the helicopter that was overhead watching it all.
That makes us 2. If you don't believe it, we are already 2. And I think we got 4 guys on the panel. I don't think that there is anyone on this panel right now who believes that story. And out of the 65 people who are watching right now, I would say 63 people also don't believe that story. And the other two people are probably BAE or maybe Chixie and Ren himself. They might believe that story. The rest doesn't believe that story.
To tell you the truth, I think Trixie would fucking beat his ass.
Well, that's why he's got the missing tooth. I really think Trixie gave him a knuckle sandwich, to tell you the truth. You know?
Hey
Oh.
guys, don't forget, go down here in the description and go to the Riff Raff Radio website. And if you haven't voted yet, vote often, vote as much as you want. There are 4 options on there. For those of you that aren't there, you can vote for who the biggest fraud in the Philippines are: F Wank, the Blackfoot, the boat. I think you know what I mean. And
Hey,
Superman
I
Travis
love that
also.
intro. That was I watched that today. You know, the intro with Trixie with the fucking her eyes. I said that is fucking right on, man. Who come up with that?
Yeah, it's a special supporter.
Very. Well, you know, when these guys are talking about people, it's like what really disappointed me is this fucking BAE called Chris a sneaky bastard. I mean, Chris, are you a sneaky bastard, man?
Hey, you know one thing that Frank, I gotta agree.
Must have had a cloud go overhead.
Yeah.
Rente Circle videos. He's right about that. But hey, more power to him. I looked at the views that Chris and Cebu's getting. I would keep up the fucking Fuente Circle videos if I got that many.
Run around that fucking circle in hot pants. Get all the food. But this is an interesting point that Larry just raised and talked about here is, yes, BAE indeed actually tried to attack Chris, and I believe the reason why he did so is because Frank is the guy who also says the same. You know, he always talks about Chris telling his audience that Chris is some sort of shady character doing things in the background. And I believe that Frank might have reached out to BAE and told him, hey, Chris is like this, Chris is like that. Because all these other vloggers, that's what they are doing. They are trying to reach out to these other channels and then build an anti-Riff Raff radio crew. That's what they are doing.
I'm happy for Chris. I'm happy for Chris. He got a fucking better apartment. You know, when he had that old apartment, I said to him one day, "Are you some kind of fucking hoarder, or do you have a real small apartment? What's the deal?"
Oh,
you know.
Speaking of small apartments, did I see old Jerry Gay? What does he live in, like a refrigerator box or something? That place
fucking shoebox full like it, you know? Jesus Christ.
It's like one person had to stand up to go to the bathroom, man. It was insane.
He calls it downsizing before making the big move over to the Philippines. And you know, when you listen to this guy, John Doe has pointed it out several times. Portrays himself as some sort of an expert because he is married to a Filipina, talks to a lot of people in the Philippines, and carries himself as some sort of an expert. He doesn't ever claim he is an expert, and I think that's his lame excuse when he is under attack. Calls us motherfuckers and all kinds of names, getting cocky over on BAE's channel. Never really talks about us or names us, at least not you guys, and makes fun of us and so on and so forth. And, you know, that's okay because it's part of what YouTube is all about. But, you know, there's a little bit of a contradiction in itself here. On one side, you call yourself a trader, a guy who has worked hard, a guy who is worried about his image on YouTube and so on, and then your wife goes to secondhand jobs in in the U.S. And then you
Isn't that
claim that
called utai, something like that?
ukai ukai, yeah. But the
Utai
thing is,
utai. Okay.
the thing is, he told me in the live chat a couple of days earlier, I think that was last week, a lot of Filipinas do that in the United States. I don't think so. I don't think so, because let's look at these other Filipinas. There are very decent Filipinas out there. If you look at the family, and I don't know these people actually, but if you look at the wife of Chris in Cebu, for instance, when they went down to Dipolog, the family has a good house there with a big garden. The family has cars and motorbikes and so on. And then you get Jason's wife, Princess, down in somewhere in Mindanao. It is also a big house, nice house, and so on and so forth. You know, these guys, when they go back to the Philippines or go back to the area where their wife is from, they actually can go into a place where their families, the Filipino side of their families, relatives, they have something in the Philippines. You know, they have a good base, and that's not the case with Jerry the Fairy. His wife was actually living in a dorm, and Jerry the Fairy, the generous guy he is, after a few weeks chatting with her, and that's actually true what John Doe said, paid for the dorm, because the dorm mate of his wife moved out. So Jerry was very generous and said, "You know what? I'll pay the whole rent." And the rest is history. So this is not a guy who is too successful in life. He just portrays himself as being successful, and he keeps that mystery. You know, how does Alan know about my finances? How would he know? You know, this is a guy who has
Kind of
no
makes you
kids.
want to stick a bolo in the side of your head, don't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is a guy who claims he is very successful, because he was trying to pressure me to block John Doe over on Discord, because he said I did not, and I quote him, "I did not work hard all my life to be where I am at now, to waste my time with people like John Doe." And he talks like that all the time. It's a little bit like this "I'm a big shot" talk.
Uppity
Thing
little
is,
prick is what you're talking about there,
yeah,
Alan.
the thing is this. This is a guy who said, "I am very successful. I have a lot of money. I have it all figured out." Makes comments about every blogger out there, but claims that, but he does never do it on the live stream itself. He always would call me up after the live streams and say, "Look, this vlogger, he does not know what he's talking about. That vlogger is stupid. This vlogger will never find a job. There are no jobs here and there. You cannot make any money in the Philippines," and so on and so forth. So basically saying, "Here I am the fairy, I have it all figured out." And then he goes over to the Philippines and stays in very cheap hotels. The last one you have seen is somewhere in Ormoc City in a fucking shithole. And the last time he was in Manila, he stayed somewhere in the Ermita area near LA Cafe. Really, we, that's not a guy who has done too well in life. And of course, he might talk about this and address this issue and say, "I am just looking for a good deal." He's all about the good deal. At the end of the day, he is some sort of male secretary for a Jewish real estate guy in Chicago. So not the Wall Street banker slash
So
finance
he's a
guru.
pencil pushing bacala? Is that
It's
what you
he talks a lot, and when you listen to him, you might think, okay, this is some sort of a big shot. And I'm not talking about this because I am mad at him what he did with the channel, because he was such a pussy. He sabotaged it and deleted the channel. No, that's not the reason why I'm telling you this. Is even before we were still having communication, I told him often, "Why is it that you hang out with these guys over on BAE's channel? Why is it that you always surround yourself with weak characters? Why is it that you don't like the military guys?" And I told him,
Hey, can I say something real
yeah,
quick?
yeah,
I watched this video of Peter Van Dever. He got caught stealing something, and he was sitting at an internet cafe, and the owner from the cafe, and he brought the police. Peter Van Dever was sitting there. He says, "I didn't do nothing." He was ready to cry. I was so fucking embarrassed. He was, number one, he was an embarrassment to the white race. He was an embarrassment to the people of the United States. I can't believe that shit. And then he's got the nerve to fucking show his face back on YouTube after something like that happened. I just can't fathom that.
Yeah, but that's an interesting point that you just said, out of two reasons. One is a lot of people judge whole societies and whole countries based on their personal interaction with a national of that country. Meaning, somebody would deal with Peter and would come to the conclusion that all Americans are lowlifes just like him. That's not true. I ask myself, why is it that there are still guys out there, and they're also on here on YouTube, they have their own channels. Why is it that they judge the Philippines and the Filipino people, and especially the women, based on their squatter whore relationship? Right? That's one thing. The other thing is, because you brought it up, internet cafe. The fairy actually has constant communication with Peter, and he told us, I think also on a live stream, that he accidentally bumped into Peter. I don't know if that's true. All I know is that there is a constant communication, and that's what the fairy does. He talks to all these people in the background, and he tries to influence them. Why do I know that? Because I have experienced it by myself. And let me just finish this point. The reason why he doesn't like the military guys is not um, because based on the issues. The reason why he doesn't like the military guys is because he thinks that they somehow owe him a certain level of respect. And he gets that from his wife, who tells him, "You are the best looking guy. You are so good looking. You are so smart. You are such a great guy." And that's what he wants. And I believe that might be because he has some sort of inferiority complex, uh, based on the fact that his parents basically abandoned him and never really looked after him. They didn't want him to go to college. They were always trying to put stones in his way, and that's probably the reason. And if you listen carefully to his vlogs earlier, where he's talking about his life, that's exactly what happened to him. How else could you explain to yourself that this guy will just, in a few years, will just go over to the Philippines, a country he basically knows nothing about? And just reading Ned's ebook doesn't mean that you are become an expert, or watching all these vlogs. I mean, let me be clear about that. He is a guy who will move to the Philippines and leave everything behind in the US. You need to ask yourself, do you really want to listen to people like that? Do you really want to listen to people who have no experience whatsoever in the Philippines, living there, actually having businesses there in the Philippines? This is a guy who just sticks to people who tell him you are a great guy, and so on and so forth. And last thing I want to mention here is, he was the same guy who was giving advice to Tavares Wilson. Tavares Wilson is a pedophile. He was seeking sexual services from minors in the Philippines, tried to contact people in the Philippines for his disgusting, sick activities in the Philippines. And Jericho Danian was having a Skype session with him, telling him, you need to go here, you need to go there, and so on and so forth. And he loves that. The fairy loves that when people ask him questions, then he can start to discuss. He will talk with his hands. It's like this, it's like that. You need to do this and you need to do that. When you listen to him, he is very good. He is eloquent. He seems to know what he's talking about. But if you listen closely, and if you have some experience dealing with him, you know that he is basically just a talker and not a maker. And again, when he goes over to the Philippines, and that's the reason why he's not on the live stream here anymore on Riff Raff, is he wants to make his channel bigger. He wants to maybe turn it into a source of income, when he goes to the Philippines because he believes that his channel will take off, and because he knows exactly what a great channel is all about. I must say, as a viewer, as a subscriber to his channel, Jerry, I believe you just don't have it. You are no Casey Neistat and the Philippine blogosphere when it comes to hotel reviews and beach resorts and so on and so forth. It is a saturated market. No offense meant, but the airfare ticket vlog that you put out and the hotel review, just not the stuff that people want in this community, right? That's my take on it. Back to you guys.
You know, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Um, the best thing that happened to me in my fucking piddly ass little life, I met my wife. She's a Filipina. She's about 5'2", powerhouse, and I just, I listened to her. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. I wouldn't have shit if it wasn't for my Filipino wife. She grew up in the mountain. When she was little, she got one pair of flip flops a school year, and she would walk down the mountain and carry her flip flops in her hand so she wouldn't wear them out, so they would last her the whole school year. That's the kind of that's the life she had when she grew up. So she taught me how to save money, and how to care for things, and I got something in life now because of her. It's the best fucking thing that ever happened to me. I used to be married to an American girl, and she was a piece of shit, man. And I married my wife in 1995. We've been married ever since. I got a 15-year-old son. I got a farm. My farm is paid for. My house is paid for. All the shit I got is because I listened to my Filipino wife. She's the best fucking thing that ever happened to me.
See, folks, you thought we were going to Joel Alba. We just did a human interest story. See what I mean? That's the wrong sound effect, man. We just did a human interest story. See, makes you really think. It's a feel good story. I mean, my God, what more do you want?
And you just heard a story. You just heard a positive story, and they are out there. And I still believe they are the silent majority because most people they live in a stable, good relationship with decent people, and they just live their life. And I still believe, call me naive or not, but I think it is the minority who are like they are, with no teeth, low lives, hobos, criminals, e-beggars, scammers, and squatter horse. These are the people where I say they must still be in the minority because I think the majority is us. It's people like us, normal people of all walks of life, decent people. I believe that's what the majority sounds and looks like. That's what I still believe.
Aloe, I have to say I only disagree with one point you made, and it was when you said, no offense, but dude, I'm here to offend. I'm here to be a provocateur. I'm here to piss people off. Okay? This is why I'm on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what this fucking show is about. So please don't ever say that no need to offend, because I will offend Jerry at every turn. And I will offend him with the truth. And that's what you spoke there. Right?
Actually,
And
I'm not really sure if you understood what I just said. Maybe I was not really clear enough. What I meant is we just heard Larry Philbeck's story where he said he is thankful to his Filipino wife. He is glad, he considers himself lucky. And when you listen to these other guys on these other channels, they will tell you the Filipino is a scammer, the Filipino will screw you over, the Filipino will cheat, lie, and basically is a total fucking fraud. And I believe, and you can call me naive or not, but I believe that most people, just like us,
Mhm.
live in a stable, normal relationship where there is no drama, where we don't come home and all our furniture is gone, where we don't find ourselves being brought to the barangay because we are having affairs with the yaya of the families, the family of the wife, and so on and so forth. I think that is just what the community looks like. It's a majority of people who live normal lives. They travel from the US to the Philippines, they're on vacation there. They travel from Europe to the Philippines, they're on vacation there. Then there are people like me who are from the Philippines but grew up in another place. Just normal people's
Mhm.
all kinds of people. But yes, you are absolutely right when you say here on Riff Raff Radio, we will call these people out. We will call them out for their bullshit, the scammers, the e-beggars, and the criminals. And that's what we are doing right now, right here. And that's positive.
And I want to call somebody out right now. I want to call two people out right now. I want to
Go
call
ahead.
Ren Zero out, and I want to call Frankie out. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to call these two misfits out. These two idiots struck a secret deal, and it's. I have been informed of this. They struck
yeah.
a deal behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Okay, these two idiots. Frankie told Ren, "I will leave you alone. I will bother you no more if you do not do the Mika interview." All right. Now, this guy was on his way to, go deliver some things to Mika, maybe treat her to something and interview her, but it never materialized. It just poof. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I said, this shit just disappeared right in thin air in front of God and everybody. And
Which
these
which
two,
actually is which actually is really pretty lame if you ask me. Which because they were
right.
talking about it, they were angry about, they felt
Mhm.
upset about the attacks, and it serves both interests.
Hey, hey,
The Sentai
I got something.
the Sentai crew is just afraid to lose. To get involved in drama, so they are afraid to lose their donations. And Frank is probably afraid that Chixie might file something against him because there's reason enough to do so. It serves
I don't
both
know
interests.
how the fuck Ren Zero is gonna make any money. Ren Zero, if you're listening to me, when you first got your boat online, I sent you a text. I even tried to contact you on Facebook. My family and me, we planned a holiday in Cebu. I wanted to support you. I wanted to rent your fucking boat. They didn't even answer me back. I thought, what a fucking dick. How's he ever gonna survive? How's he ever gonna make money? He's gonna go bankrupt. You watch. In a fucking year or a year and a half, he's gonna go bankrupt.
He
I tried
pimps
to
out
rent
this
his
girl on
boat.
YouTube. That's what he's doing. For 30,000 plus pesos a month, pimps out his chick on YouTube. And then guys send her dick pics. That's what he is doing. And then maybe she might reply, wow, it looks nice. It's so big. I would like to suck it, and so on and so on. And that's how you get the HP notebook. That's how you get t-shirts and chocolate.
I got
it,
sick of seeing her fuck with her hair. She's
yeah.
fucking flipping her hair around. I'm like, what the fuck kind of porno shit is this? I unsubscribed.
Yep. Larry, I'm going to tell you straight up, guy, this piece of shit, Ren Zero, did almost the same exact thing to me. I dedicated a whole show to this buffoon and promoted his channel and everything he's doing. And what did he do? Not even a thank you, not even a shout out, nothing. Okay? He just went on these shit shows like BAE and why they were trying to dox me and telling me I do this and I do that and all kinds of nasty things. And while he was sitting on that show on the panel, he did not even say one fucking word. So after that, I started digging. I started talking to other people. I started watching these videos. I started watching the Princess E-Beggar. I started paying attention. And all of a sudden it was like the veil was lifted off, man. I could see through their facade, because that's all it is. It's a facade to take in money and support themselves. And if they think e-begging is making it in the Philippines, they got another thing coming. Because I'll tell you right now, dude, Jexy, your time's coming to an end. Couple more years, you know, you're gonna start getting the crow's feet. You're gonna look a little bit more worn. Father Time is not on your side, Chixie, especially when it comes to the environment you're in. I mean, you're living in a warehouse. Your shit is hung up on the windows. You have no real amenities. You're living a harsh life. It's going to take a toll on you. And one of these days, somebody's going to open up the cam and they're going to like, who the fuck want to talk to that shit? Okay, nobody's going to want to talk to that shit. Some worn out Filipina looks like she's got 100,000 fucking miles on her. That's what's going to fucking happen to your ass. All right.
You know how many fucking hot ass babes there are in the Philippines?
Oh,
like you said, her fucking time
countless.
is fucking running.
Yep. Block
Hey, hello.
Ed, what was it you wanted to talk about? Quick.
I just want to change this up real quick. Got a question for you, Hello. The other day, I was kicked out of a Phil Am American group because they're talking about dual citizenship. How the Filipinos become citizens of America, get there, turn around, and get dual citizenship back home. And I got a real big argument about it. I'm a patriot. It's the country's fault for not doing it. But every Filipino, when they take oath of allegiance to become their citizen, they promise to give up their citizenship.
Wait.
And that irks me. When you become an American citizen, you take an oath that you renounce your old citizenship to become an American citizen. But the American is not pushing. They're going to go, well, if they want to become a dual citizen, let them. Which I am so against that, because I feel if you're going to become a citizen of the country, you're taking that citizenship. Like, I am not going to, okay, I love the Philippines. I'm going to live in the Philippines, but I will never give up my American citizenship to live in a country.
You know, my wife
do it.
would
The only reason they do it.
My wife.
The reason they do that is.
Hey,
Ed, you're a little bit cutting out there. But if I got you right, you were talking about you got kicked out of a Phil M FB group, and they were discussing the dual citizenship topic. And your point of view is that Filipino Americans, when they become naturalized U.S. citizens, they should not go back and reacquire their lost Philippine citizenship. Is that what you said? I didn't really understand what he was saying, but I think that's pretty much what Ed was saying, right? That he takes a stand against having dual citizenship. Did I get that right, gentlemen?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
I don't care what the fuck he has to say, about that. My wife did that. She became American citizen. Okay, I took her down there. We went to Ann Arbor, Michigan. I had to take her to a federal judge. Swore about there's like about 100 people at this college, in the auditorium, and my wife had to take a test. She became American citizen. It took her, I think, 6 years to get that shit all done. And then we had to go. We rode the train from Dearborn, Michigan. We rode it to Chicago, and we went to Michigan Avenue. They had an American consulate in Chicago. We took my son there. He was just a baby. Oh, he was maybe 2 years old. She was holding him. He had to raise his hand, and they were sworn back in as Filipino citizens. Even though my son was born in the U.S., he got his Filipino citizenship. And for anybody to say, "Oh, I don't believe in that," or "I wouldn't do that," screw them. There's so many benefits by having dual citizenship. I couldn't imagine not having my son, go through that. He was born in the U.S., but he's also a dual citizen. He's got two passports, like my wife. How can anybody talk against that? I'm trying to get my resident alien in the Philippines.
Yeah. Well, what I can tell you about this dual citizenship issue is this: dual citizenship was actually reactivated during the years of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, and I believe that was in the mid of the 2000 years, 2004, 2007, when Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was still president of the Philippines. She passed that law, the Dual Citizenship Act. And the reason why she did so is because she wanted that especially Filipino Americans who made it in the U.S. would become investors back in the Philippines. And the reason was she actually, or that was the idea of the law, is to reach out to the many Filipinos overseas, especially in the United States. And a lot of Filipino American groups, political organizations among the NAFFA. That's the biggest organization in America. It's an organization of different Filipino American groups in the U.S. They were pushing the Philippine Congress to pass that law because Filipino Americans wanted to vote, participate in Philippine politics. They wanted to buy land, and this was the generation of people who became retired, and they wanted the same rights like the Filipinos back then. But I understand that there are many people who say you shouldn't have dual citizenship because it's this issue of dual allegiance. You are
You mean duality?
Duality. Some people say, and it's the same in Switzerland. People say we should do away with that, and because what would happen if a war would break out? Because there are many Albanians in Switzerland, for instance. What would happen if these Albanians would, which they are dual citizens, a lot of conservatives think that if you are Swiss, you should only be Swiss and you shouldn't have any other citizenship. And where Ed is coming from is, I understand that because there are people who think of it as something. If you're American, you should only be American. And then there are other people who say Filipino Americans, because they are Filipinos by ethnicity, but they are also naturalized U.S. citizen, they should be able to keep their Filipino passport as a sign or symbol of who they are as a people, and it reflects just what Larry mentioned earlier when he was referring to his son. He is born to an American father, born to a Filipino mother, and he has been living in both countries. So why should he not have two citizenships? So there are two camps, and somehow I understand both. I have my opinion about it as well. Being a dual citizen myself, I'm a little bit biased, but for us, it means that we enjoy a lot of, how should I say, a lot of advantages. We are citizens of Western countries. We can travel all around the world, but we also have the rights like other Filipinos in the Philippines when we buy land, when we run businesses, and so on and so forth. And from the Philippine government's point of view, it is in their best interest to have this dual citizenship law because it kind of builds a bond to the Filipinos who were born and raised abroad. So that's maybe these are the factors to consider when you look at this issue. But again, I see where Ed is coming from. I see that he thinks it should be America and nothing but America. Because Ed is he's an older guy. No offense meant. And Ed is an older guy. He's very conservative. And I do know of many people who think the same way he does.
Hey, let me see something real quick, Allo. I mentioned the Filipino consulate in Chicago there. I was watching the news one day and I saw there was a protest there in Chicago against President Duterte in his drug war.
Mm-hmm.
And I tuned, I paid close attention to it because I was there in the past with my wife and son, at that consulate, and they had like two Filipino ladies, Filipinas, and they were protesting against President Duterte and his drug war, and they had about 60 paid black protesters, and I laughed my ass off. I said, what the hell? They couldn't get Filipino. They only had two Filipino ladies, and the rest were a bunch of blacks. And you could tell their signs they were holding up were manufactured. They didn't make their own signs. These were paid protesters. And I laughed my fucking ass off. I said, this is some George Soros shit. I said, people in the United States, they just don't understand, because I hear people bitching about President Duterte. They don't know that he has like 85% popularity in the Philippines. People love him. And they got a couple of disenfranchised Filipinos in Chicago that have to hire a bunch of low-life blacks and pay them. They don't even know who Duterte is, and they're standing up there protesting against the man. They don't know shit about the Philippines.
The problem with certain Filipino Americans is, of course, the fact that they get their news from American media, and when you only look at what American media give, a certain American media outlets, when you look at that, then they are painting a very negative image of President Duterte. You basically, if you would just look at that, and then it's the same in Europe. It's the same in Europe, by the way. Western media portrays him as a monster, as a dictator, as a killer, and they take out these statements out of context. He said this, he said that, rape the women, rape jokes, kill and decapitate people, and so on and so forth. Fact is, the president has done so much for the Filipino people in a very short time, and he has done things that none of these other presidents before him did for the Filipino people. And I give you some examples just to make this short, not a political show here, but just to give you a short example. One thing is the tax reform. The economy is growing. They said when Duterte becomes president, the economy would collapse. It's not collapsing, it's growing, it will continue to grow, and that's very positive. The build infrastructure program is taking off. The Philippine government just signed an agreement with the Japanese development agency that they will build the first phase of what they call the Metro Manila subway. There are roads being built all over the Philippines. I wish they would do more for Mindanao. I understand that there were concerns there, but it takes time. But it's moving in the right direction. The other thing is fight against crime. People in the Philippines feel safer. They feel when they go around in the evening, they say things like, before we were afraid of the criminals. Now the criminals are afraid of the Duterte administration. It is something that has improved a lot of people's life. Talking about the simple people, farmers. I do own a farm in Nueva Ecija, in the Central Luzon area. Before, you had to pay irrigation fees, meaning because there is water on the farm, you need to pay the National Irrigation Agency. You need to pay them after every harvest. That is a significant amount of money, and Duterte has done away with that. Duterte has also done away with the absurdly high fees when you want to transfer property to your children or from your parents to the children. You needed to pay very, very high taxes many Filipino families couldn't afford and would risk losing their homes because the taxes and the transfer fees are just too high. President Duterte has put away with that, and it helps the people, the simple people. Less taxes, less income tax, more money for the people, a safer country. And he is not yet president for 2 years. I'm very excited about what he is doing. I'm very excited about where the country is going under this president. And I believe we will see a lot of things in the next few years because he will hopefully stay president until 2022. And if we are lucky enough, I know some people might not agree, but if we are lucky enough, we will see a Marcos in Malacanang Palace by the year 2022, because obviously he got cheated in the vice presidential race. April 1 or 2, I think, they will start with the recount. Leni Robredo is the vice president of the Philippines, and I believe, like many, that he got cheated. And it shouldn't be Leni Robredo from the Liberal Party. It should be Bongbong Marcos, the son of Ferdinand Marcos, who should be sitting in the as vice president of the Duterte
Hello,
administration. Yeah.
hello. Do you know the Philippines is even mentioned in the Bible? I'm not talking about Philippians in the Bible. The
Mhm.
name of the Philippines before the Spanish even came to the Philippines, it was Ophir. Ophir. It's mentioned in the Bible. Um, the
Yeah.
Philippines has done so much. You know, you can go to Israel. You don't even need a visa because the Philippines was the tiebreaker when Israel wanted to become when Israel became a nation. The Philippines was the tiebreaker and voted for Israel to become a nation. You
Yeah.
don't
Hmm.
need a visa to go to Israel. Also, when Hitler was killing all the Jews, the only country that would take any Jews in was the Philippines. They took 1,200, well, almost 1,300 Jews when
Hmm.
even the United States wouldn't even accept them or Canada. President Quezon
Yeah.
took those Jewish people in when no one else would, and he offered his land in Mindanao
Hmm.
to house them. And he planned on taking many more, but the Japanese attacked, the Philippines, and that kind of put an end to it. But the Israeli people are so thankful to the Philippines. You don't need a visa to go there.
Yeah, I have heard of that. And there's actually, you are right. It's under the administration of Manuel Quezon, and it's there's still actually a synagogue in Metro Manila. There is a question here. Brain Dead American asks, "Alo, what do you think about the divorce bill?" And that's another example. The divorce bill. Philippines, the only other country besides the Vatican who doesn't have a real divorce bill, and I believe that's also positive. It's something that it's realistic. It helps people. There is really no. It's just not good when people live together and they both agree it is better to separate, and they can't because there is no law for it, and usually they do it through an annulment, marriage annulment, and it's a very costly and complicated process to get your marriage annulled. And this new divorce law just reflects what the Duterte administration stands for. It is not like the other administrations holding symposiums and economic forums out of touch with the average Filipino. It is about saving money for the people, giving them access to free education, for instance, on university level, state universities, more money for the farmers, more money for simple workers like call center agents and so on and so forth. Um, Doing away with all these strings that are attached when you transfer the land title, when you buy property, and so on, simplify the way how a simple normal citizen interacts with the state. And when you talk about the media, it's the same media actually was attacking President Trump. It's the same media who made fun of Duterte, and some American media was even bashing Trump because Trump invited Duterte to the White House, and they also made certain comments when Trump met with Duterte in Manila. How could he meet with a monster like Duterte? How could the American president be in one room with a killer like Duterte? And it's always, it's the New York Times, it's the Washington Post, sometimes it's CNN. It's the same people, the same groups of people. And in the Philippines, it's Rappler. Rappler was shut down because they didn't have the license. People in the West said Rappler got shut down by the Philippine government because they are anti-Duterte and anti-government and so on and so forth. And it's just not true. They don't have the license because it's not allowed to take foreign money and run a business entity, especially in the media, and to take foreign money. And they didn't fulfill that requirement. They took money, and that's why the government is going after them. And not because they are against President Duterte, because many of these media outlets, the Philippine Daily Inquirer, for instance, ABS-CBN, they are all against the president. They are all against Duterte. The Catholic Church is against Duterte. But the Filipino people, sky-high approval ratings of of this administration. And I believe it will continue to be like that. But that's enough about politics. Let's get back to another topic. I would
Aloe,
yeah.
what the fuck is going on with these Bayouts in the Philippines? I mean, in the States, once in a while, like very seldom. I mean, there's a lot of gays, but you don't see too many Bayouts. They got this guy Vice Ginda. I think he's fucking up the country.
He's a
hero. But he's very popular. He's very popular, and the Filipino people, they are very tolerant. They are, how should I say? They're very tolerant. They have accepted people like Vice Ganda, and personally, I think it's a total travesty. I think it's absurd. I don't like it. I think it's not good for the youth. I don't think it's very wise for having these these characters on TV, because first of all, I don't find them funny, and I think it is not good. But obviously, it seems that
if I had a dog that looked like that Vice Ginda, I would shave its ass and make it walk backwards. Have you heard that before, Popeye?
Oh yes, that's an oldie but a goodie, bro.
Yeah.
But let's. Aloe, what's your new fucking topic, you lunatic?
I would like to get to the last topic of this show, because I promised you earlier I would like to talk about this, and I would like to ask you guys what you think about this. This is about video freedom. Video freedom has been attacked by Twitchy. Twitchy exposed him. I'm not a friend of Twitchy. I don't like the guy for various reasons, but I believe that vlog was the bomb, because he basically destroyed Aaron Wilson in that vlog, and he totally exposed him. And the weird thing is, after that vlog, Aaron Wilson took down all his videos, and the only thing that's left is some sort of Alex Jones vlog and an e-begging vlog that he has left on Video Freedom and his channel. So I actually wanted to invite Steve Montelli to the show to give us an overview about who Video Freedom is, but I think all of you guys know him. But still, I would like to ask you, Dave, can you give us a short overview? What kind of a guy is Video Freedom? What does he stand for? And what we are working on right now? Because we have good people in the background. Some of them are here in the live chat. I want to say thank you, because they are digging up a lot of dirt. And what I have seen so far today is very, 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 very promising.
Well, first of all, let's get something straight. The guy uses his anonymity as a shield to beat people with. his videos are actually just Spreaker or their live chats or something like that. You're not allowed to talk in his live chats. If you ask a question, he kicks you. And he blocks you permanently. He just says horrible, terrible things to get views and make people mad. So he doesn't get very many views typically, but he's just a caustic bastard. We've actually gone at this guy before. Apparently, give us an Aaron Wilson impersonation, Dave. Then
just cough.
I always thought that he's. And then there's and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? So here's the deal, though. It looks like maybe the shield of anonymity may have been lifted. We'll find out here shortly. But the guy's made a living off of bashing Filipinas. He was messing with a bar girl and got taken for a ride, fell in love with her or something like that. But he moved on to Thailand, and he was hiding out in Thailand, hanging with the Brits. And according to Twitchy, he got himself kicked out of a little British group. They don't particularly like Americans over there. And he was e-begging again and kicking people out of his broadcast and saying he was going to shut his channel down if people didn't send him money and stuff like that. That's where we are right now. What he's saying is we want to get Mr. Montelli on the show and give him his rundown of freedom, because he was going to debate video freedom at one time. And I don't remember, did video freedom back out or not?
I was actually talking to Real Deal during that time, and Real Deal has a direct contact to Video Freedom, and I told Real Deal, listen, Steve Montelli approached me. He said he wants to debate Video Freedom. Let's make this happen. Montelli came to me and said, I wanted to be on Alo the Winter radio blogs. Alo, you're the right guy to set up these kind of debates. Make it happen. I said, okay, I'll try what I will try. I will give it a shot. I will reach out to somebody who is close to Video Freedom, and that was Real Deal. Real Deal told me that he approached him, sent him 2 emails. He never got a reply. But Dave, you're absolutely right. Back in the days on the legendary Quentong Baliu show, we went after Video Freedom, and he didn't like it, because Video Freedom uploaded blogs about me, about Quentong Baliu, where he tried to attack us for calling him out. And the key to provoke him is actually talking absolute fucking absurd bullshit, because I was starting to send him emails asking him to send me pictures of his anus, show me your cock, and so on and so on and so forth. And he didn't like that. He didn't really like that. Got him upset, and that's the time he started to react, and he started to upload videos. And he is a guy who has absolutely no sense of humor. He is a guy who bashes the Philippines, bashes the country, and I believe he is just fucking sick in the head. If you do not know Video Freedom, he is just a bad person, a really bad, sick, delusional person. And he has these delusions of grandeur, by the way, because he thinks of himself as some sort of a PhD guy, CIA guy, top guy, totally pumped up and like a muscle guy, bodybuilder. Totally. Yeah, he's a totally weird guy. And he was frequenting Ankara City, I think, in the mid '80s, and a typical whoremonger. The girls screwed him over, and he was very bitter about it. Went back to the States, and he uses his channel to digest his traumatic experience in the Philippines. And he's an absolute joke, and he makes fun of people's looks. And he always did that. He talks in a very disrespectful way. And Twitchy pointed it out and said, hey, you are making fun of other people's looks. Do you have a mirror at home? Because all the pictures are out there. All the screenshots have been taken. This guy, I mean, do you remember the movie Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie, The Last Action Hero, and then there's a villain there with really bad teeth and super weird look. He kind of looks like the guy with the axe. He looks exactly like that. Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Last Action Hero, he looks exactly like that villain. And that's not the really. It's not the. Let's just say he's not a ladies guy. He's not. He's not the Tom Cruise guy.
When I first started doing YouTube, I come across his channel, Video Freedom, and I clicked on it and I started listening. He was talking about conservative views, but the way he was talking about conservative views, I was like, "Wow, are you fucking for real?" So I shot him a message and I said, "Why aren't you got a comment section?" I can't comment. There's no free back and forth. And I got a message like 10 minutes later, and it just said, "Fuck you. That's the way it is. Open your own fucking channel, you fucking loser." And that was his response. And I said, nothing wrong with this guy. I was like, holy shit, this fucking psycho. Now you flash forward all the way to today, and this motherfucker is in Thailand, and I can see why. I mean, the what I call the conservative view he has of politics and this and that. That's another one of his shields to protect him for what he's doing in Thailand, like
Marco Base Camp Journal.
Yeah, like having relations with lady boys and bar girls, and there's all kinds of depravity you could find there in Pattaya, and that's his forte. That's who he really is. And I've never even bothered with the douchebag ever since.
Base Camp Journal.
You want to expand on that a little bit? No, I guess not. All right. And that's what I see in this guy. He's a friggin' loser. He has no real content. He doesn't know how to interact with people. He's socially awkward. I've seen some of the photos of him come out, and I have to agree with you, Aloe. I just turned to that movie and marry up the both photographs, and there you go. You got it in a nutshell. You couldn't have put it more eloquently than anything else. My hat's off to you, bro.
Yeah, because I tell you what, Heminger, if you listen to this, and also Aaron, if you listen to this, if the stuff that that our guys are digging up right now about you, Aaron, if that is true, then you are in for a rough ride. Because if I get the informations that they promised me and what I have seen so far, because they have sent it to me, if that's the real deal, if that's the real information about you, then you are in for a rough ride. Expect phone calls, buddy, not nice phone. Because if I know where you are, we'd fucking send emails to your neighbors, to the preschool, to the bakery shop, to every fucking college near you, to the homeowners association, to every neighbor that I can find. And we will put things in these emails and mention a few things about you. And you won't like that. And there's fucking nothing you can do about it. We will discipline you, just like we disciplined the other guys. And after this, I will also leave the link, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency's link, in the comment section. And I would like to encourage everybody out there, if you have dirt on somebody, if you have information about these criminals, please don't hesitate to contact us.
All right, I got something I'd like to put out. if you come to my channel, the Popeye channel, it is an extension of this channel here. And if you are tired and you are reformed and you are no longer giving to e-beggars, and just about every one of my live streams or little trailers I've done, I've left a link in the description. One link I've left is Shriners Hospital. Please give to that. Tell them Popeye sent you. Another
And
link
also,
I've left.
and also mention, if you guys out there want to do good, if you want to contribute to something nice, something that makes sense to a good cause, do not give your money to a woman who is too lazy for a real job. Do not give your money to a woman who supports a
Exactly.
lazy ass like Ren,
Exactly.
because it's just not good. If you want, because you can use your money for other things, for better things, for honest people, for a good cause, for a real cause. You don't need to give it to somebody who just wants an easy way out of a job, and
Right.
taking shortcuts and so on. But hey, if you are a pervert, if you are a fucking creep, and dick pics is what you do, sending dick pics to Chixie, and you fantasize about her, then you are lost anyway. Then do whatever you want to do with your money. But I believe there are still people out there who want to just contribute to a good cause, and there are people actually, and you told me about this, Popeye. You told me about this. You told me that there are at least 3 to 4 people who have second thoughts now about
Yes.
contributing to Ren Zero. And if that is the case, then we already reached our goal. If we can prevent only one person from contributing to these people, to these scammers, then we already reached our goal.
We've
And then it's
achieved our
already
point.
positive.
And here's another point I want to make is that another good one to give to is St. Jude's Hospital. I mean, they do fantastic work for children with polio, muscular dystrophy, and I'm not taking any of this money in. These are direct links to these organizations. And, if you're tired of giving to these e-beggars like Ren Zero and the rest of them, please give to organizations like this. Another good one, Wounded Warriors. Okay. I will be putting that when I do another movie trailer. I'm going to put that link in the description. All right. If you have money to piss away on e-beggars, stop it and give the money where it's really needed in this world. Okay. I don't need your fucking money. I've made my bones. Unlike some fuckhead who lives in a goddamn warehouse on some island in Philippines and claims to have a boat and a chocolate whoremongering e-beggar of a princess. I don't do shit like that.
I think you are just jealous, Popeye, because you envy
so
Ren.
jealous,
Who
jealous,
you envy Ren because he made it in the Philippines. He made it all right.
Yeah. Oh,
that's why we are all just very jealous. We are all very jealous. We're very, very
fucking green with envy, man.
Unhappy people. That's what we are. Unhappy people. You know what? I just realized we got John Doe on the panel. He is sitting here on the panel, not saying anything at all. I think it's time for our favorite section here, for our favorite part of the show. Why is Jerry K not an expert on all things Philippines? What's your take on this, John Doe? Everything you just heard. Tell us,
Johnny. Come on, Johnny.
Yeah, tell us,
Johnny.
Johnny.
Well, I was.
You're a racist now, Johnny. You're on this show.
Yeah, the other day I was Jerry the Fairy was on mic on a BAE show talking all kinds of nonsense. And as soon as I got on mic, he ran off. That's a typical Fairy coward that he is. And he was spewing all kinds of nonsense because of his jealousy, because my girlfriend has a real job. And I don't support her like he supports his old washwoman wife that can only hold down no more than a minimum wage job. He's
Say
the job
oldie
guy.
for me. Say oldie
Yeah,
for me.
oldie,
Okay,
old,
good.
old hag that he
Okay.
married because that's all he can get. And I'm supposed to be jealous of him because he goes to the Philippines 2 to 3 weeks and he gets to ride in trikes and jeepneys. And when I'm there, I only get to ride in air conditioned vans. So I'm jealous of him.
Wow, what a
That makes
contrast.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Because these guys, they made it.
Yeah, he's jealous that my girlfriend's family in the Philippines is not poor, and I have a place to stay for free, while he has to flop around in cheap hotels in Leyte or in Ermita, the
Yeah,
shithole of Manila.
Does he do the pension house?
Probably.
Hey, that sounds like a bunch of hyperbole. I got to get my dictionary out when I hear you talk.
John, let me ask you, how did the fairy react when he found out about your promo video of this great channel here? That you uploaded the promo video of the #1 live stream in the community, Riff Raff Radio. What did he tell you?
Well, he wasn't speaking to me. He was talking to Jay on his show, and he was outing me on Jay's show that I posted your promo video that I'm supporting Riff Raff Radio. And of course, I was not on mic, so I could not respond to that. I mean, that guy's a real coward.
Why would he have it any other way? Just I mean, really, that's what these pieces of shit do. I mean, they're there to shut you down, but we won't shut you down here, John. I mean, Johnny, take it away. Tell me some more of this good stuff.
And then now on a BAE show, his resident expert is that guy Terry from Ohio. I mean, that guy makes that toothless, bloated buffoon makes me want to vomit.
I call him the seatbelt extender.
He's like almost like another VF. VF goes to the Philippines, deals with a couple of hookers, gets abused, and that was like probably 10, 20 years ago. Yet he's an expert on the Philippines. This fat, bloated carcass of a human being, Terry from Ohio, sources some young, educated Filipina from the province who we probably knew about 5 minutes. After being in the Philippines maybe 6 or 7 weeks, then takes her back to his trailer park in the U.S. and he's amazed that she's having sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the trailer park.
But I don't blame her for that, because the reason why she married that guy is obvious, right? Because sometimes when you see certain guys, you can just tell, hey, you don't deserve better. I mean, don't you have a mirror at home?
Yeah, what did he expect looking the way he looks?
Exactly. And we have another guy in Belgium who is actually also in that category. I mean, these guys should be very thankful.
You're talking about
they should be
Mongo?
very thankful.
Mongo?
Yeah, because these guys should be very thankful that they found themselves a female companion. The thing is that their intention or motivation or motive to be with them is probably another than romance and all that kind of stuff. And it's obvious in the case of this trailer park gangster, the worst McDo or McDonald's guy, that guy. I mean, it's an absolute it's absolutely hilarious. And I tell you what, and I believe
What
he's
the
not
fuck was Rose
listening.
thinking?
He's not
Every
listening
time I
right
see
now.
Black American expat, I see that fucking Rose, and I think, what the hell was she thinking?
Well, Rose is from a very shady background, I must say, and these are the type of women who actually end up with people like BAE. It's low class from the U.S. meets super low class from the Philippines. So it's kind of like it's a perfect match, you know. They won't go anywhere with that relationship. And I pity the kid, you know, because this is really not a good start in life. And he will abandon the child just like the kids that he abandoned back in the States. That is for sure. He will give us a reason that Rose cheated on him, or Rose is the typical Pinay who just wants money or a green card and so on. And then he will, maybe sooner or later, we'll find out that he just started a new family, maybe in Portugal, maybe in Colombia, or
Did
wherever.
you say started or farted?
Started and then farted on them.
Oh,
I don't know. It sounds like there's a fly in the buttermilk someplace.
yeah.
But you know, basically, most of them are just freeloaders portraying themselves as big shots, and they are really not. Honestly, they are really not. Because you look at the crew, their panel, it's really the who is who of Loserville. You know, some guys, and then the other guy is like, I'll go to Portugal, I'll go to Colombia. And then the other guy has also no teeth, made the girl pregnant, he said stuff like it's easy or cheap to raise kids in the Philippines. You know, for them, I don't really know how they define raising kids in general, you know, because they can't even look after themselves. They can't even fix their own fucking teeth. How would they be able to look after? How would they be able to provide and take responsibility for a child, let alone the whole family? I mean, uh, it's just terrific, you know. It's just amazing that there are still
Can we
people
start
like
a
that.
GoFundMe to can we start a GoFundMe to get all these guys toothbrushes? You know, what do you
Can
think?
you imagine Barry Jordan having a kid in the Philippines? He's
Oh
saying
my
his
God!
girlfriend might be pregnant.
Hey, he was trying to bum money off of me. I friended him on Facebook, and about 2 days later, he was trying to get me to send him money. I unfriended him.
Did he ask you for a load for his phone?
No, he said, "Oh, I got a bad reputation from 2016, but I don't have any money for food." And I thought, "What the hell?"
Mhm. Yeah, you don't have. Well, that's why he's living with BAE. You know. Did you see the Ebony Ivory movie they did together? It was quite sweet. I mean, I think they make a great pair. You know. So, John, I got to ask you this toothless, bloated asshole you're talking about. I heard a rumor is the strained wife did the whole trailer park. Is that true?
According to him, yes, it is.
So he actually come out and said his whole wife did the trailer park.
Pretty much. And she was still pending the completion of her citizenship after she did the whole trailer park. He's such a man. He signed off on her citizenship.
Are you shitting me? Isn't this guy into MGTOW? He don't need women. He can have a taffy pole with himself, and everything will be okie dokie.
Yeah,
No?
he's MGTOW. If he went back to the Philippines, any girl looked at him sideways, he'd marry her in about 30 seconds.
Shit. Holy crap, man. Has he got any personality?
No, he does tattoos for a living.
He does tattoos for a living. Wow, you're really painting a really lovely picture of this fucking piece of shit. You know, I mean, tattoo artist, strained wife does the trailer park. Sounds like a Saturday night comedy soap opera I once watched back in the day. So,
Do you know who will be the guy who will go over to that Ohio guy and say, "Hey, the Riff Raff crew is talking about you," because he himself doesn't really listen to our show? Do you know who will be the one who will go there and tell him and say, "Hey, listen, Terry, the Riff Raff crew is talking about you"? 100% Jerry the Fairy, because
yeah.
these guys are talking. There was a time where Jerry told me, "Hey, get in touch with Terry. He is a good guy. He's a nice guy. Talk to him. Get him on the show. He has thousands of subs. And I reached out to this Terry guy, and I was talking to him, and I was a little bit making fun of him, and he refused to come on the show. And then a few days later, on a live stream, I told the guys that if YouTube would allow videos where I could shit on a plate, I would do vlogs about that where I would just shit on a plate and then upload it. And I was talking about that, and then 2 days later, the same guy Terry wrote in a live chat. One of these guys mentioned that he would do a vlog about shitting on a plate. I blocked that guy, and then I was laughing so hard because I knew he was talking about me, and I knew he was listening to that part of the show, and he must have been shaking his head in his car when he was listening to it and say, this out of the winter, I will pre-block that guy. I will not allow him to come on my show and comment on my channel because these are just very, very, very sick people. And that's what that is what is so funny, because when people just block you based on the reputation you have. And it happened to me as well on Do More Life. I have never said something to that guy. He must have heard of me, and he just blocks me on his channel. And it's the same with Terry. Once he heard that I would do vlogs about the plate thing that I just mentioned, just blocked. Not a chance. You know, you can't even mess it up with these guys. They would just block you and not allow you to comment. And you need to think about it, how they react when they sit in their small house, in their small car, and then they listen to this. You know, they really take it at face value. They think, oh my God, what kind of sick people are there on YouTube, and so on and so forth. You know, and then I was just really laughing very hard when I knew, okay, I'm blocked on Terry's channel.
Yeah, you see how angry they're getting? Right here, little Kevin, Popeye. You better not wish I get my hands on you for the way you treated my little brother. All right, so you just go, you check this douchebag's channel out. Like, let's see, he's subscribed to BAE. He is subscribed to Riff Raff Radio. One of the listeners, great supreme leader. I mean, I don't know. What do I do with threats like that? Should I ignore them? Should I report them? Should I be afraid? Should I cower in the corner and sweat? Go in the cold sweat? What should I do, man?
Just ignore them. Just ignore them.
And I appreciate a comment like that, and I'll tell you why. Because it's telling me we're putting out the truth here. You're not liking it. You're getting pissed. Taking coin out of your money, out of your pockets. And, it's not even your coin to begin with. It's other people's money. Okay? That's what you owe. The OPP crew. As simple as that. Oh, how many angry comments you get a day there, Mr. DeWinter? I must imagine it's got to be in the thousands.
Actually, I don't really get a lot of hate mails or comments like that. What is really weird is that I attack so many people, and I get not really much hate. Because look at the live streamers, for instance. Let's say Frank. Frank attacks Dave for things that I said about Frank. Frank attacks Dave and says Dave said Ika. Frank tried to do something to her, and it was me who put that out there. And then he attacks Dave. He actually doesn't really mention me that much, and I'm the one who always talks shit about him. I would like to read a comment here. Big Kev mentioned that was on my show in big letters, and I believe Big Kev is referring to the show where I was talking about shitting on a plate. And Terry heard that. And I also want to ask you, Big Kev, I have left you a comment right here in the live chat. Have you been attacked by BAE because you had Bob Cooper on the show? I believe yes, because somebody mentioned it earlier here on the live stream. And how do you feel about that? Is that a problem? Are there tensions building up between you and the BAE crew? Yes or no? What's your stand on that? I would be glad if you could leave us a comment here in the live chat. And then I would like to read another comment right on the money about this subject when it comes to guys like Video Freedom and Terry. And this comment is from Cess and the City. He says, my point is the worst guy, referring to Terry, the worst guy and his type hate and judge all Filipinos because they married a bad one. And that's exactly what it is. This is the short version of everything you need to know about these guys. They married a bad one, totally naive, and they disregarded all the red flags and just went ahead, probably just thought with their dick, went ahead, married her. It became it ended in a total mess for them, and now they blame the country and the Filipinos. And that's just cheap. That's just lame. That's just bad. It's just stupid. Right? Back to you guys.
Did he give you your answer yet? We'll just wait for that. Hey, by the way, I think we got all our votes, and let me hit the refresh button one more time, and I'll make the announcement on this one. So it looks like you had a choice tonight in our online poll. The boat, so that would be the Ren Zero boat, is number one. That was the one that they say is the biggest fraud in the Philippine vlogosphere with 47 votes. Coming in second place, F Wank with 10. Then it's a tie between Blackfoot the Ermita Hobo with 5 and Superman Travis Kraft with 5. We'll probably expand it next time. If you have any suggestions or recommendations for our next poll, definitely drop us a message on this channel or on Quintong Baloo, and I'll set the poll up for next time. Apparently, F Wank has gone at me again. Let me just listen to a tiny little bit of this, if you don't mind.
Well, here's what's going on here. There's no laugh track on this at all. And here's what I have to say. For close to 2 years, I have endured mass discrimination, put downs, egregious accusations of crimes I never did. Dave, I'm not going to beat around the bush on this. This is directed to the denominator of most of the problems on the YouTube community, who has helped create these hate channels. And he himself has gone and has numerous channels that, for the most part, promote hatred and puts indignity on other people that he doesn't even know.
Hold on just a second. What the fuck does... what do I talk about all day? We do philosophy, politics, and stuff like that on the one channel. I've answered this guy 4 times. We are now up to, 36 videos just on Dave Phelps. This is ridiculous. We had 3 interviews about this guy. They spoke their piece, and this guy is still going off on me 2 years later. This guy begged me to talk about him live. He begged me in a chat to talk about him live. Begged me. You're not pulling any of this legal garbage on me. You're not getting anybody for discrimination. I'll tell you why. You've been making fun of my asthma. You've been making fun of my wife. You've been making fun of everything. You don't have any recourse ever. So you go ahead and pull whatever shit where you're going to fucking file charges or whatever. I'm tired of your shit. You do it, I'll cross-file on you, and you're already in trouble as it is, so I don't even know what I'm worried about. It's already too late for you. So you go ahead and put your little legal shit out there and stress out and look old with your orange-dyed hair and be all upset and ancient-looking and wrinkled and do your thing. You can't live in peace, can you? You cannot live in peace. You want to be in the center of everything, and you want me in trouble. Make up your mind. Make up your fucking mind what you want. But I'm going to tell you something. You're irrelevant as far as this channel's concerned. You got it? All these stupid videos you're putting out, Dave this, Dave that. No, Dave's obsessed with me. Am I? I'm not the one that put out 36 videos on Dave Phelps. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm tired of your crap. I'm tired of you bad-mouthing me. I'm tired of you bad-mouthing my wife. I'm tired of you bad-mouthing my family and my niece. I'm tired of you making fun of my asthma, saying you wish I had a heart attack. You have no recourse at all. I have every single video of yours saved to a hard drive. Every single one. You go ahead, file your little gay charges against me, and see what happens to you. You look like the biggest fool on the fucking planet. Old bastard. I'm sick and tired of being threatened by an old man that's just bitter because his little collection scheme got uncovered 2 years ago, and he can't handle the truth. It doesn't matter that Jeff Swift was doing this on him before I was. You notice he's not going after Jeff Swift. He's not going after Aloe. He's not going after Popeye. He just goes after Dave Phelps. I hate that guy. Ah! Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm tired of enduring your crap and your lies and your miscommunications and all your craziness. You don't even know how to speak properly. And you're going to come at me. You need to keep your damn mouth shut in the future. I'm not even warning you anymore. You need to just live out your little quiet-ass old life on your own with your girlfriend and leave me out of the equation. You've already said too much. You've spoken too many times about me, and it's all recorded. And I'm going to tell you something. If you think that taking me out is going to make you popular somehow, you're a fool. And I'll tell you why. No one likes you. Does anybody here like this guy? Tell me.
What's there to like? Jesus H. Christ.
Seriously, I want to know. Tell me somebody that likes this guy. This cat right now.
I like the guy.
I know.
I like seeing him make a fool of himself.
Thank you. Exactly. That's what he does. He's a big fool. He's angry all the time. He's probably upsetting his girlfriend because he says, Dave's upsetting his wife. I know it. Like he's sitting in my living room or something. My wife laughs at this guy every day. Laughs at him every day. Every time she sees him, what's wrong with his hair?
That's because the guy's a fucking clown, man.
He is. He's a clown with a big red nose and yellow shoes. You're going to come
time to make the donuts.
Threatening legal action, all this stuff. You got nothing. You have nothing. I have 36 videos just on this one of you. I've still got the camera lens up the ass video that you threatened us with. That's a threat, isn't it? You know what? You don't have a leg to stand on. There's a case a mile wide on you. Not just me, just insulting my Filipino wife, my daughter, my niece, everybody else. You've got nothing. Nothing. Come on here if you're so brave and debate me right now. You won't do it. You know why? Because all it took was somebody laughing at you about hiding behind a tree, which you lied about, just like you lie about everything else. And you got upset and left. And then you try to blame me because your camera was on because you're too fucking retarded to turn your camera off. You ain't got shit.
He knew the camera was on, man. He knew.
I know he knew it was on. He knew it.
The guy's just stupid. The guy's just fucking
This is what
stupid.
I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right now. This guy came on, and here's the thing. I let him come on. I said, well, it's only fair that he defends himself after we had those two interviewees on there. We had Mikey 550 and Holly on there. And they were both mad at the guy. Really mad at him. They weren't lying about it. They just called to light somebody that was scamming people. And when they did, you were upset. So I let you come on. You blah, 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 blah. And she gave me a big wet kiss and all this other crap. All this stuff. All this stuff. And you know what? All it took to scare you away, intimidate you was Aloe going, I thought that the tree was really funny. Ratchet, I'm out of here. That's all it takes. So don't talk shit on a closed channel where I'm not allowed to comment. And I'm not allowed to answer you. And there's no recourse against you. You big pussy. You big pussy. Come on here and debate me right now, tough guy. And don't talk about how that video that I have, by the way, recorded of you making death threats to Ren Zero, which could get you in trouble in the Philippines also, where you talked about you're going to pull out a knife and there's going to be blood all over the ground. Those arms couldn't hold up a butter knife, let alone a real knife. You need to keep
Dave,
your
I
mouth
got,
shut.
I got a request, bro. I got a request.
Yeah, what is it?
Can we do a poll on whether Pepita will make it to the end of the year or not?
I'm going to tell you something. I was going to leave this guy alone because I hate him getting attention. Since you've been such an asshole to me, F wank, guess what? We're doing a poll next week on Pepita. You've been such a dick, and you've been bothering me all week trying to fish for information on me. Oh, could you please explain why Dave's crazy? Huh? Listen, you won't think you're that goddamn tough. Come down here and walk up to me in the street. Come down here and walk up to me in the street. I walk past a dozen expats on a daily basis. No problems. You know why? Because I'm not that guy you roll on. You saying I'm gonna die of a heart attack and stuff, and then he says this thing. I was so stressed I had to go to the hospital several times. Then maybe you should stop YouTubing. Stop YouTubing if you can't handle the stress. But here it is. It's like the effervescent eternal masochist. He likes picking on you, poking a finger in your face. You slap him. He's like, I'm going to tell mommy, and he runs off again. Because it's okay for him to do it, but it's not okay for other people to fight back. You're a coward. You hear me, Chair? You're a coward. And I wish I could get Jeff Swift on here just so he could laugh at your ass like he used to. What a loser you are. Do you understand what a complete reject and a loser you are, threatening legal action against me? You fucking dolt coward. You're so obsessed with yourself and you're so narcissistic that you don't care that I have a family and you're going to try and get me put in jail on some fake charges. That's what you think? You're going to hurt my family? You think I'm going to allow that to happen? It's not happening. Aloe, what do you think about all this? What's he got?
He got nothing. This is ridiculous, because I have seen this before. Video Freedom does the same, where they really threaten some legal actions on you, and it is just there's this saying, don't throw with stones when you sit in a glass house, and the guy sits right there in the glass house, and he's doing the same shit that he claims others are doing to him, and he just doesn't understand that this is absurd, and people don't believe him anymore.
No,
and even if he would do it, he would put himself in trouble. And he knows it. I mean, you can intimidate a bunch of little kids like this, but you can't intimidate people who actually know what's going on in the Philippines and how things are there. And maybe it was his boyfriend Gildo who told him, "Look, I have a contact. My grandfather or my uncle is in the armed forces," and so on and so forth. And he who doesn't really know what that means felt like, oh, I'm well connected here and I could do things and I could really go after them. And the reality, it's just not true. It's just a lousy attempt to silence people and to bully them. That's all it is. It's absolutely absurd what he is talking about. And he is a clown. And the only reason why I watch some of his vlogs is because I want to see how he whines and bitches about life in the Philippines. Because this is a guy, he won't make it in the Philippines. And I want to just see what kind of lousy excuses he will make to leave the Philippines. That's all it is, I don't watch these guys because I am interested in the content or that I am interested in the informations that I give out. I want to see how they fail. I want to see how they lie to us. I want to see how they make fools out of themselves. 90% of the blogs I watch and listen to are based on that on that alone. That's the reason why I sometimes listen to BAE. I want to see how these people lie and twist the truth. When the guy came on our show and said it's just for entertainment, You know, I admit I smoke weed. I went out there in Ankara City. I was looking for drugs. I smoke drugs. I take drugs with my friends. And then it's a 7-minute fucking vlog soundbite that we put out. And none of it points to jokes or that he was not serious about this. None of it was for entertainment purpose. He was talking about what he experienced and what he is doing in the Philippines. And that's what it is. There's no fucking entertainment there. And watch these logs because I want to see how they lie. I wanna see how they try to make lame excuses. And it's the same with Frank. It's the same with Frank. He has no fucking connections. It doesn't matter who you know. What matters is if you are really willing to take this to the next level. And you know how much it takes? The money, the time, the efforts that you need to put into something like that for several years until there is a first hearing. And then the other side, don't you think the other side will defend themselves? Don't you think the other side also has the money and the contacts to defend themselves and get a lawyer, and the family would back them up? You will put yourself through a lot of trouble. And Frank doesn't really know that. It's just all fucking talk. It's just blah, blah, blah. That's what it is.
I'm going to tell you something also, F. Wank. If I run out of money defending myself, my father will steamroll you. I mean, it's not even content. That's the funny thing about it. You're fucking with the wrong family, man. It's ridiculous. We had a 2-part interview on you, and you got to defend yourself, and that wasn't good enough. And that was over 2 years ago, and you can't let it go because 2 people demanded to come on and talk about the funds. Not about you, about the funds. And you're so, oh my God, I can't believe it. He did this to me. It's not about you. Nothing is about you ever. That's the point. No one cares about you.
You raised an interesting point, Dave. This is what is really important. What some of you guys also need to realize, because you just mentioned your family, your father, your wife's family, and so on and so forth. And that is what you guys need to realize out there. You are not, when you talk about shit like this, you are not just talking about one single person. There is a family behind them. There are people behind them. There are people who say, enough is enough, and we will defend our family member. When you do this in a country like the Philippines, you will go against the whole fucking clan of people. And I ask myself, do you really want to go through something like that? Do you really want to go to the barangay and file the case and take it to the next level and then wait for months and follow up on it and pay money and put time and effort in it? And then you really expect that the other side will not be fucking fired up and will take their sound bites and their screenshots and their proof to defend themselves and also come after you. I'm referring to Frank and others who are foreigners in the Philippines. This is not a clever move, because at the end of the day, you risk your status in the Philippines, because at the end of the day, it's very easy to get deported, to get blacklisted. Is this really what you want to do? Don't start shit when you are not willing to walk the talk and to do this and to fight for it all the way. And I believe they won't do it, because if they really are serious about that, they would have done it long time ago. And again, even if they do it, I think and I believe strongly that they would just put themselves in a lot of trouble. And it's not necessary. But again, it's just all talk. And these people are fucking crazy, and that's the difference between us and them. Believe it or not, we are having a good time. We are talking about these scammers and criminals and these fake people out there. We are talking about people who make themselves look like fools out there. And they take this shit so fucking seriously. Look at the way how they react. Look at the way how they talk and what kind of people these people are. No teeth, no money, no house, no fucking nothing. And they put themselves on the same level as we do. And they call us the guys who are jealous. They call us the misfits. That's not how it is. And there's a growing number of people who believe the same. The majority of people, they are with us. The other people who are over there, they're just the ones that we called out for. Because there is a reason why the Fairy is on there, why BAE is running the show, why all these other losers are there, why this Terry guy has showed up. That's the main reason for them. The guys over on the Riff Raff disrespect us. The guys over on the Riff Raff are just jealous. And it's the same with Frank. Frank has been around for a while, and he always still thinks he wants to set the record straight. What these people really want is that the community rallies behind them and gives them the support that they think they are entitled to, that they believe that the community should come after us, should come after Aloe, should come after Popeye, should come after Dave because of this or that reason. And it's not happening because people, they have a mind, they can think, and they can come to their own conclusions, and that is what makes them so bitter. Because in the case of Frank, he has told us so many times that he will quit YouTube, that he has a life, he wants to enjoy life in the Philippines, he is with the love of his life, and so on and so forth. And 2 or 3 or 4 weeks later, he just shows up again, uploads old videos about Frank, about Nika, and attacks Dave and the Riff Raff crew, and he can't let go of it. It's pathetic. It's already a sign or a symptom of some sort of mental illness, because they will never be able to stop. Remember the time when he said, I will never put Gilda on the TV, on the vlogs again. I will not show her to you again. And 3 days later, here she is sitting next to him in his small house in Bantayan Island, telling us we should focus on our families, we are crazy people, and so on and so forth. And that's the reason, by the way, why the Gildo has become a target. Because when you put your girl out there, she becomes a legitimate target for the community. And that's why people make fun of her now. And if you really want to protect your family, just stop doing fucking YouTube, Frank. Take a time out, go swimming.
Aloe, I gotta
color your nails or something like that. Do something with your time.
I got a good message for the chair, Frankie Five Fingers, whatever the fuck you want to call this idiot. I strongly suggest you go back to the United States, find some little house to live in that has a manicured lawn on the front, and you can stand out there in your pea-stained whitey-tighties and yell at kids, stay the fuck off my lawn, while you're holding your cane. All right? That's the best option you got right now. I mean, I really think you should leave Philippines. It would behoove you. It would, and get off YouTube, like Aloe says. I mean, you got a short time left. You're up there, what, late 60s? Is he 70s? I don't know. And I'm not ragging on your age. I'm just telling you, you're up there, man. So, your number can be called at any time. So get the fuck off YouTube and go do some life, man. You might find that a little better. And, because I really don't wish any ill will. I just wish you'd go the fuck away. You make my eyes sore. You make my ears hurt. I mean, all the crazy shit you come out with. Give it a break, dude.
And that was my point too. Was nobody was paying attention to this guy anymore. So he has to stir up trouble. But instead of just having a little friendly volley back and forth, he wants to start threatening lawsuits and legal action, jail time, and all this stuff. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You can't sit there and pick at me for an entire week trying to get information on me publicly and then start, well, you're in trouble. Fuck off. Seriously.
It's just fucking ridiculous, It's just like saying we have guys doing this and that, and you will feel my legal sword really soon and stuff like that. And, something is coming and so on and so forth. And, sometimes I just need to laugh out loud when I read these comments. There's this other pathetic loser, Rasbundo, who accused you of converting Muslim children to Christianity. Even if that were true, what the fuck? What was so fucking what? It is absurd. It's absolutely not true. There is absolutely no. It's totally baseless accusation. But even if it were true, so what? And it is just fucking absurd. And he keeps doing that. He keeps commenting about that over and over again in the live chat, in the comment section. Dave Phelps is leaving Davao because he converted Muslim children to Christianity, and so on. Come up with something more creative. If you have to lie, then make it at least interesting, or make it at least more fun, or make us laugh. But this is all they got. It's absolutely pathetic. It's lousy. It's stupid. And I just don't know who these people are. What kind of people are these? Because I have heard this since, I think, since last year. Also that the fucking surfing in holo thing, reporting it to the Pentagon, and so on and so forth. It's just absurd. It's just absurd. I told Ross Bundo, what I did yesterday? I converted 1,000 Muslim children in Marawi to Catholicism. What are you gonna do now about this? I am gonna convert the whole fucking Mindanao to Catholic faith. Please report me to all these sites out there. Here I am. I just told you what I did, and he didn't say anything. It's just their way, their pathetic way to try to provoke us. It's not even a good attempt. It's just fucking lousy. It's lame. It's stupid. And if I were you, Russ, and I know you're listening right now, why don't you just try something new? Why don't you just try something new?
Somebody fall asleep on here? I hear snoring.
Oh, definitely.
John Doe, tell me, what do you think about this? What do you think about?
I like to know how can Wanky afford to engage in any legal action when obviously he could barely afford to leave that house. He lives there in isolation.
Well, when I saw that video from on Dick Insider's channel, very good video, by the way, Dick Insider. I look forward to more vlogs coming out of your channel. When I saw that video, I was really surprised because they really found out where he lives. And, with that satellite pictures, like zooming in, first is like the Philippines map, then the Visayas, then Bantayan Island, and then the beach, and then the house. And then you see the house from far, and then you see the house really, really from near. And it's just in the middle of nowhere. It's just in the middle of nowhere. And I was even surprised do they that they have running water, that they have a TV, that they have internet connection in that place. I was really surprised. And I just thought, wow, just another fucking loser out there who is trying to win a following in this community. It's just fucking ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. And it's true what John Doe just said. How could he afford to start any legal process living the life that he lives? I think he is short on money. Just the other guy who just brags. You wouldn't live out there in that kind of place if you would have cash, because sometimes in the comments he would say stuff like, "I'm going to Cebu. I'm staying at my condo." You don't have no fucking condo, Frank, and you know it, and you know that we know it. So why don't you just tell us the truth and stop bragging about things that are just fantasies? I would like to know from you, John, what do you think about guys like Frank? What do you think about these attacks on Dave in the last few weeks again, or for the last few days, actually? They intensified.
Well, when you're bored and have no money to go anywhere. Have you seen him go anywhere other than for medical treatment in the last few months he's been there? All you have time to do is fuck with other people on YouTube.
Yeah, that's actually all he does. I think that's all he does. Sometimes he throws in a beach vlog, showing us or trying to show us, look, I enjoy life, and gives us some pseudo philosophical life lessons about how beautiful things are. And then the next thing you know, it's a Dave Attack video again. And I have spoken with Nika. I have the screenshots. I have posted them over on Discord. And she told me, and I have put it out there many times, she told me Frank came over. Nika's parents were sleeping, and he showed he opened his pants and showed her his penis. And Nika said it was very small. And that's what she said. That's what she said, I'm not making this up. And that's not good, There's no coming back from that. You can't.
Hello.
Yeah.
How small was it?
I will contact her again, and then I will ask. People on the live stream would like to know how small was it. I will take a screenshot, and then somebody should help me to put it on a site like imgur.com or something like that, so you guys would be able to read it. But she said it was very small.
Okay.
And her expectations weren't really that big. I mean, she didn't really have any expectations at all, And then when she comes to that conclusion, to that verdict that it was very small, then how small is it? I mean, basically, it might be that Frank's penis is only the head of it, It's just like only the head of it, like the purple cherry, and then the foreskin, and that's it, and then two balls. It's basically like it looks like three balls, and you don't really know
More like no balls.
which is the nut and which is the cock. That's all it is, and that's not good, Frank. You know that. And it doesn't really mean that Gildo is having a lot of fun. That's what it means.
Holy shit. Damn.
Frank's
so what else we
sack
got?
Is empty.
His what?
Frank's sack is empty.
There you go. Nothing worse than an empty sack. So what else do we have? I think we're close. We're getting close to closing out. Things are slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I know there's a guy out in the audience, Nico's Experience. He wanted to come on, but he said he'd come on to the next one. You're friends with me on Facebook now, Nico. So just let me know what you wanted to talk about, and I'll give the guys a heads up. And we're hoping to have Steve Montelli on the next one. And, of course, we like having the other guys on here. John Doe is always fun to have on because he's a very direct, objective guy. And Larry, I think, is passed out. I think he drank too much Red Horse and he's snoring. So let's round this thing up. Let's get some last thoughts from people. Whoever wants to go first, go. Don't everybody go at once.
Come on, John Doe. Do the first step.
No. Well, I just want to firm up what I said. Jerry the Fairy is a coward.
Amen.
He talks a lot of shit when
Amen.
I'm not online and I can't respond to him. As soon as I come on, he runs like a girl. Trixie talks shit about Ren living the high life. But, that opinion can only come from a girl that lives in a squatter area that doesn't know any better.
Yep.
And, of course, Terry from Ohio was a big, bloated, toothless wreck of a human being that had one failed experience with one girl. And he should shut his pie hole.
Amen.
Amen.
That's all for me.
That's a nice last thought. I like it. Straight to the point, right on the money. a nice message in it as well. I like it. Yeah. Larry, you don't deserve a last thought because you're sleeping already. Let's go over to Popeye. Your last thought, Popeye.
All right. My last thought is simple. Stop giving to e-beggars, number one. Okay. Number two, give to good organizations that I've mentioned in this show, please. And, you know, for Christ's sake, remember what this show is about, people. We're here to expose the truth. We're here to give you a little entertainment. We won't come on here and tell you we do nefarious things and say it's entertainment. It's just what it is, what these idiots are doing out there. And if anybody out there can prove to me that Ren was a firefighter, oh my God, I'd have to see proof of that. All right. I mean, he's well on his way to being toothless. All right. He's already got one knocked out. He's just got 31 more to go. And he'll be in the same class with these idiots. And that's just the way it is. Dave, thanks for making the website. Awesome website. I enjoyed the poll. I voted, and I'm so happy that Ren won the poll. I mean, it's just great. Take it away.
Yeah, I would just say, I just want to say thanks for coming out. Thanks for showing up in the live chat, the guys who comment there. I would like to encourage you guys to write more comments on our channel here, Riff Raff. Bring us ideas, make suggestions, and so on and so forth. Engage with us in a conversation here in the comments or on Facebook or over on Discord. I want to thank Dave for putting the site together and hosting this channel. Very valuable input there. It wouldn't be possible without you. And that's it. I look forward to next Saturday. Riff Raff Radio, the #1 live stream in the Philippine YouTube community. And again, I'm very proud to be part of this team here. I think we are the best guys out there, and we will continue to bring you this kind of content, without fear or favor. That's it.
All right, great. So this wraps up another episode of Riff Raff Radio 2. What the fuck, man? And listen, don't be making all these little kitty threats toward any of us either. This is getting old quick. If you don't want to have fun at this, then you should just go play in lava or something like that. Go to Pinatubo and jump in, because you're a worthless person. If you want to enjoy yourself. If you're doing something wrong and you're scamming people, you get called out by people. There's nothing wrong with that, because you make the rest of the people from my country, when you're an American, look bad. You make us look bad. We don't need that, man. We don't need to be talked about the way we hear about the Chinese being talked about and the Koreans being talked about over here. Don't fuck up over here. And stop trying to start threatening people with your little kitty threats over here either. You ain't shit. That's it for me. Here's a throwback song to our old days. 3, 2, 1.
Du, gehen wir Meisterfried. Nein, es ist viel zu kalt. Ah, komm, es regnet nicht, es ist noch kalt, gehen wir Meisterfried. Aber dann haben wir den Skianzug. Ja, weißt du wie, im Skianzug an Meisterfried. Meisterfried im Skianzug.
Alle haben sich gesagt, dass die Saison nicht mehr toppen kannst, ein lächelnder Captain. Dann haben sie das Wasser gemacht, gelitten, gefightet, langsam wieder Fuß gefasst, wie es der Streller gesagt hat. Das ist Fußball, gut ab, gut gemacht, zeige mal den Köbel jetzt, Meister im Quartett. Köpfe werden überschätzt, glücklich jetzt, voller Stolz und auch Demut. Jungs, sagst uns, danke dran, wenn's weh tut.
Klar, ja, Klagenheit, Basel weiss, was es heisst. Auf dem Feld alle zeigst du der Meisterschaft reicht. Konkurrenz denkt, über 60 Spesen zu viel und doch hat Sieg für Sieg zum nächsten Titel gefehlt. Auch Chelsea sieht sie und du hast zuerst einmal Schluss. Das weiss Tottenham Zenit und haben Dnipro betroffen. Der Heike müssen heimgehen. Mit dem Alex ist ein grosser Gang. Fast mit Absicht und macht die Liga nochmal spannend.
Und wir dance, Allo, dance.
Singen, wenn's Sonne im Stadion untergeht. Das ist unser Club, für den FC Basel. 100 Pro, wir kämpfen bis zum Schluss. Kann niemals auf. Singen, wenn's Sonne im Stadion untergeht. Die Farbe in der Luft. Das ist unser Club, für den FC Basel. 100 Pro. Eine Liebe, die bleibt, der Traum, der weitergeht. Eine Fahnen im Wind, in der Farbe blau und rot. Es lässt uns nicht los, eine Stadt der Region. Jeder Match ein Gottesdienst zählt mehr als Religion. Einmal mehr gibt's den Lohn, der Meistertitel wie gewohnt. Der Film, der vorbeigeht, das 13 auf dem Trikot. Unsere Jungs, die fighten gegen Russen und Briten. Am Schluss von der Reise bleibt der wichtigste Titel.
Ich gratuliere der Mannschaft und dem Meistermacher. Jetzt sind dafür auf die Saison und der Teil der Nacht. Schau, ich schieß auf Fregat, ich will noch Meister feiern. Weil Superlative steigen meistens in die Meere. Ich liebe die Stadt und ich bin stolz auf den Verein. Doch in der grossen Euphorie ist mir Folgendes gesagt. Ich will die stolz gesehen FCB und deshalb immer treu. Weil nächstes Jahr kommt sicher und mischt Kader wieder neu.
Wir kämpfen bis zum Schluss, kann niemals auf. Singen, wenn's Sonne im Stadion untergeht. Die Farbe in der Luft, das ist unser Club, für den FC Basel. 100 Pro, wir kämpfen bis zum Schluss, kann niemals auf. Singen, wenn's Sonne im Stadion untergeht. Die Farbe in der Luft, das ist unser Club, für den FC Basel. 100 Pro.
All right, guys. Another successful show. It looks like BAE is live right now, so make sure you go over there and give him a thumbs down and tell him to fuck him. To call him a racist, he'll like that. Man, he'll make a 6-hour show about being a racist. All right, that's it.
That's it. Peace out.